Think what you think about when you're born into a fire. Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
What's up, guys? What's happening?
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. I'm Will Bird. This is the Cold Beer Confessional. We should do an info op to convince Elon that Trump wants to think big. You think? You think that's what we should do? Thank you guys for joining us. I'm Will Bird. This is Cold Beer Confessional. Almost didn't go live tonight, but I decided to anyways. But that's basically why I'm late. Thank you guys for being here. If you want to support the show, do that coldbeer.fund. We'd greatly appreciate it. The first thing I want to do is, I know you've heard this the last couple days, because the big conservative creators are putting this out there, right? And basically, it's like, oh, when conservatives were asked about mental health, like 50-some% of them said they had excellent mental health. And when liberals were asked, it was only 40-some%. So liberals aren't happy. I think they're missing the entire point of this study. And I think they're doing it on purpose. Like, I just saw a Charlie Kirk video of him doing it. They're doing it on purpose. The point of this study was not about mental health, okay? It was about alternative terminology. So there's your first hint, okay? So I've got the study pulled up. Here it is. So it says, in our second study, we employed an experiment dividing our sample in half and exchanging the term mental health with overall mood. Now listen. If you took a group of liberals and a group of conservatives, as best you could round them out, who do you think has a bigger stigma around the words mental health? Who do you think would have a bigger stigma with not being okay with talking about their mental health? Like, hey, that's something we don't, I'm not going to tell you about that. I don't even talk about that. My mental health's great. Don't bother me. Obviously, it's conservatives. What this shows in this study that they're trying to quote to prove that, like, liberals are crazy and suicidal or whatever, and conservatives are so happy, is literally this. When they swapped the words, when respondents were asked to assess their overall mood instead of mental health, so they took the word mental health out and put in overall mood, the gap between liberals and conservatives disappeared. Conservatives were actually somewhat less likely than liberals to provide a highly positive rating of their overall mood, though this difference was not statistically significant. And the gap between conservatives and liberals on selecting fair and poor overall mood was nearly zero. So the entire point of this study was to get a baseline for when you ask somebody about their mental health, right? Liberal or conservative, it doesn't matter. Ask them about their mental health. Here's this 10 or 12 point gap, okay? But then when we change that to your overall mood, no gap. So what this shows was that liberals basically reported it the same, whether you ask mental health or whether you ask overall mood. Conservatives are scared to address mental health. So they just say, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I'm great. I'm excellent. Mental health, yeah, no problems here. Overall mood, I don't feel great. I'm not doing too good. But they're misrepresenting this study, fundamentally misrepresenting this study. It's literally the point of it was to try these different mental health versus overall mood. That was the entire point of the study. Anyways, you guys can look that up. It's from the NHI, NCBI, NLM, NIH. I don't know why I said NHI. NIH. So there you go. It's called, Do Conservatives Really Have Better Mental Well-Being? Do conservatives really have better mental well-being? That's from the National Institutes of Health. I found this old post from Donald Trump, and I took a screenshot of it just to kind of troll the Trump supporters and Elon supporters on Twitter. This was back in November 13th of 2024, so right after the election. And Trump was responding to that Il Donaldo Trumpo or whatever. And it says, Elon Musk is a great guy, loaded with personality and, quote, brain power. He is definitely a high IQ person, which is the reason that his really strong endorsement meant so much to me and to MAGA. He's at a beautiful Mar-a-Lago concert right now, and the crowd absolutely loves him. Thank you, Elon, for the great job you did in helping us win the most consequential election in 129 years. So he's crediting Elon with helping them win. Especially your hard work in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And this is what Elon said. Like, you would have never won Pennsylvania without me. And Trump's like, we would have won. Everybody knows we would have won. We didn't need him. It will never be forgotten. Unless you disagree with my one big beautiful bill, then it never happened. That's what I put in the Twitter post. But it says it will never be forgotten. Make America great again. We got an update. I just thought that was interesting, so I screenshot it and put it up on Twitter. It seems like you helped win Pennsylvania, even though now he's saying you didn't. And he also said it will never be forgotten, even though it seems like he forgot it pretty quickly. Weird how that happens with fucking narcissist billionaires, but whatever. We also have an update let's grab this right quick. So you guys remember the CVS guy I showed you in the police video? The guy at CVS has put on his hoodie. The cop pulls up, is like, takes him to jail, basically. He ended up losing his fucking job over that because he was in jail for 2 days. But here's the update.
Once again, a couple of days ago, I posted this video showing this 22-year-old Paul being falsely arrested in front of the CVS store that he worked at.
Dude, you're gonna get tased.
I work here.
Turn around.
I work.
Stand up and turn around.
I work here.
Put your hands behind your back. Don't move.
More than just that community, it seems like the entire nation was outraged at what they saw. My video got an unprecedented 2.4 million views in the first 24 hours. Also, within that first 24 hours, because there was such widespread public outrage, prosecutors in Volusia County, Florida, dismissed the criminal charges against Paul. The town of Edgewater also quickly responded, putting Officer Rippion on leave pending investigation, and now it's been reported that he's already been fired. Of course, they just use the word
Officer fired, separated as an employee. He was put on leave almost immediately after the video went viral. Charges were dropped, put on leave, and then fired, let go from the police department in Edgewater.
separation. I have updates from that. I have updates from Paul's family, but this one was a surprise, or perhaps not a surprise. Daniel Rippion, with the founder of Street Cop Training.
Do you guys remember who Street Cop Training is? See this right here. It says, glad to be at the agency that values good training, Street Cop. Street Cop is that training that went viral. He's going to show it in a second. It's from New Jersey. Every cop that went to this training from the state of New Jersey had to be re-fucking trained. It was so disgusting. Like, they made, fucking racist shit and, dick jokes and joked about shooting people that were running away from them in the back. Street Cop is really just, one of the bad apple cops. That's all it is. And they're charging departments to train. And Florida sent this guy up there to train in New Jersey. It's really bad. He does a little, he doesn't go really in depth, but we can watch some of it here.
And in that social media post, Officer Rippion bragged, glad to be at an agency that values good training, Street Cop. You may recall this guy. I featured him in a video a while
Shut the fuck up. You're getting pepper sprayed, tased, windows broken out, motherfucker. What?
back because their training was outlawed by the state of New Jersey, with thousands of police officers having to be retrained, according to the Attorney General there.
I've made it very clear to all 38,000 sworn officers and their leadership that no one should be attending street cop training.
So the Attorney General in New Jersey came out and was like, no, if you went to this training, you must be retrained now.
I've been using Ridge wallets since like 2022. I have a ton of them, like every color. I have years worth of experience using them. About 6 months ago,
I'll let him read his ad.
Extra reached out to me. My buddy Lackluster had been trying to get me to use an Extra wallet for the longest time. 6 months ago, they sent me an Extra wallet to use. I started using it. The things I liked about the Ridge wallet, the minimalism, the RFID blocking.
I absolutely love Ridge wallets. The problem is with Ridge wallets, and the reason I don't carry one right now, is if you do anything with sand. So like, let's say you live at the beach, or you're going to the Middle East to fight another war for oil, or one of those things. Like right now, where all the sand's everywhere, and I work constantly at the river, covered with sand, I can't carry it. Dude, it gets in my Ridge wallet and basically sandblasts my cards. Like none of my cards were usable after carrying it maybe 6 months there. I had to get all new cards. So now I just carry a leather wallet that's a little bit tighter fit, and sand doesn't work its way down into it.
Technology still has those. There's just something about a premium leather wallet that has the same features, and also a couple extra spots to store things, like that weird little gym thing that you use to sign into the gym, and there's no other place to put it, especially in a Ridge wallet. When you're paying, you just press the button on the bottom and boom, your cards shoot out. You can pick which one you want to use. The other thing I didn't like about Ridge wallets is over the years, it absolutely would destroy my credit cards. In fact, the one I use all the time, you can see it's all completely frayed, and that was from the Ridge wallet. I haven't seen that occurring with the Extra. They're actually having a Father's Day sale. You can get up to 40% off right now. Use my code TCRL at checkout and get an additional 10% off right now. I'm going to thank Extra for becoming a channel sponsor. Now let's get back to the video.
Elon and Trump's domestic dispute.
The 22-year-old
There's two different body cams, both of them telling their side of the story.
Paul doesn't have a car. He's struggling, but he's working. Gets off of work at CVS at 10 o'clock. It's only been like 5 minutes. It was actually his sister who called for a lift. He's waiting on...
I've tried to contact Ridge Wallet for forever. Dude, I've carried a Ridge wallet before they were even a big brand. I found the guy who invented them on Facebook and started talking to him, and I ordered from just sending him fucking money to his house. Like, I've had Ridge wallets since they were fucking invented, and the guy, I don't know. The guy won't speak to me about it. I'm not a big enough creator, right?
The Lyft driver, he's sitting on a bench. He gets up off the bench to put on his hoodie. A police officer on patrol just happens to see this. He believed the CVS to be closed. He believed Paul to be hiding behind a pillar.
I still keep my Ridge wallet, right? I've got the newest. I've bought 3 or 4, I think. The newest one I've got keeps my extra cards I don't carry every day in the center console of my Jeep. So I still use it. I can't carry it anywhere near sand. It'd be one thing if you're going to the beach for like a couple days, you take your cards off and watch it. But if you're like working around sand every day, you're fucked.
No crime was committed. Paul says he wasn't hiding. He was just putting on a hoodie. The police officer then approaches Paul. Paul,
just a recap of what happened.
No crime, was immediately detained and threatened with violence.
ID card. Stop with your name on it. That's my right. No, you're not.
We saw all this, but
Stop.
It's giving it a rundown.
You can make an emergency, please. I got one resisting.
I work here, sir. I just not
Dude, you're gonna get tased.
Okay, I work here.
Turn around.
I work.
Stand up and turn around.
Okay, I work here, sir.
Put your hands behind your back. Don't move.
And even though the officer discovered that he was wrong, he arrested Paul.
There was another guy I talked to at the same time. The inventor guy is him and his dad. I think his name is Danny or Daniel or something. There's another guy I talked to that was inventing a wallet around the same time, and the wallet was named. It was really cool. Trayvac or something. A Trayvac wallet. It had like metal and aluminum, and it had like a little hook thing. It was pretty cool.
Charged him with a crime and took him to jail anyways, where he stayed for 3 days, just to teach him a lesson about what Officer Rippion believed to be his authority as a police officer, even where no crime had previously been committed.
This is my ride. Just 1 second. Hey, you're good to go. He doesn't need a ride anymore. I'm gonna give him one. You are going to jail tonight. Do you really work here?
I swear to God, I work here.
I do believe that he works here. He's gonna learn, fortunately, the hard way. So. Yeah, I do believe him. He wouldn't come around to himself. So.
Trayvacs.
Now, what should happen
Trayvacs wallet.
is the officer has a hunch, he's suspicious. It's a free country, right? He can go and have a consensual encounter with anyone he wants. He can go up and ask questions. He can ask for ID. He can investigate. And that's what should have happened. This was one of those incidents that really affected people. And it was the people, not just in that community, but nationwide, that achieved some level of accountability here. The charges dropped. They had been pending since, May 10th. Even the prosecutors weren't interested in dropping those charges until people were upset about it. Then the officer's placed on leave, and boom, then he's fired, separated, whatever. What's important about this particular case is that the entire basis of our freedom, of our constitutional rights, it all rests on a foundation of very minor little sort of nitpicky things. The entire foundation of our freedom, of our constitutional rights, rests on what happens in those sorts of scenarios. If we have a government of the people, for the people, by the people, why would we, the people, allow law enforcement officers who are there to serve us, who are there to protect?
The cop was fired, but the guy lost his job too. He was in jail for 2 days. He couldn't show up to work, so he was fired from CBS.
Protect our freedoms. Why would we allow them to treat us as criminals unnecessarily? Why would we allow them to treat us with disrespect, with disdain, to seize us first and ask questions later?
Most places, you end up in jail and missing work, short of like on a construction crew, you're probably going to end up losing your job.
It's not how it's supposed to be. But if police officers are taught to walk around, to patrol, to interact with the community with an attitude of disrespect.
I've actually been on a job where the foreman gave me and my buddy Luke enough money to bail out our coworker, and we took our personal vehicle on company time and drove to the local jail. Well, it wasn't even the local jail; it was one town over, and bailed him out and brought him into work.
Respect, of disdain for the community, with the number one goal of enforcing what they perceive to be their authority, as opposed to serving the public, protecting the Constitution. Then we have things like this happen that completely did not need to happen. Nobody called 911. It was just basically a Karen RoboCop going around creating havoc. I mean, how does...
I want to see some of this crazy training.
Officers in New Jersey.
Okay, here it is.
October 2021, about 1,000 police officers attended a private police training conference in Atlantic City. What we found was really disturbing.
Because they discovered this video footage of what happened inside these training seminars for police officers.
You're like, I am not a citizen of the United States under Act 1260. Shut right? I'll get pepper spray, tased, windows broke out. I like your exit. I'm gonna fucking die like 91 with hookers and cocaine around me,
I want to die at 91 with hookers and cocaine. This is a police training seminar, but they're the cool street cops.
Watch your body cam videos. We don't think you got a voluntary consent. Here's 7 pieces of case law, fuckhead. Stop trying to back the 19-year-old dispatcher. I would be remiss if I...
So telling a 19-year-old dispatcher, basically, shut the fuck up. I'm going to kill him if I think I'm going to die, right?
I didn't remind you or let you know that I have a 3-inch dick. I'm not the one with a 1-inch dick.
I watched this car come off the highway, and I fucked the shit out of the female driver. She doesn't want to fuck me back, though.
But by
I fucked this shit out of this female driver, but she doesn't want to fuck me back.
that point, street cop...
It'd be one thing to say I fucked somebody. It's really weird to go like, She didn't want to fuck me back. And why they're all introducing themselves by their dick size.
Had trained thousands and thousands and thousands of police officers, not just in New Jersey, but all across the country. And the gist of it seems to be you have to be a proactive, tough guy, New Jersey type police officer who goes out and sniffs out crime. And don't worry about constitutional rights. You have to be proactive and you have to be aggressive.
We investigated this 6-day conference hosted by a private company called Street Cop Training. Instructors taught unconstitutional.
It's hard to hear. That's why I slowed it down so you can hear what the instructors are actually saying.
Policing practices, teaching officers to stop motorists without a lawful basis and to illegally prolong traffic stops.
Have a day where you go out and go, I'm going to pull over 20 people in a row for the sole purpose of asking them a series of questions and make up your own questions. Something as simple as, hey, how you doing? Where you coming from? You know, hey, where you going? Be real friendly about stuff and just see how people answer questions. You will learn general baseline.
In Indiana, speed limit for trucks is 65, cars is 70. There's no fucking way that any car should ever be behind a semi if they have the ability to pass it. So when you do that, if you're coming through Indiana, I'm gonna fucking stop your ass. Like, he has the whole left lane to pass his fucking semi, but he's gonna sit right behind it. It makes zero sense. It's not logical.
They denigrated women and racial and ethnic minorities.
I don't want to hear his exit. I don't want to fucking die like 91 with hookers and cocaine around me, you know? Why wouldn't that be your...
That's the main guy, the founder and CEO.
...and objective? Like, I'm on vacation in Colombia, money, and these girls like are not as wealthy and they need to do things to make money.
The girls are not as wealthy and need to do things to make this money. Like he's talking about trafficking women.
If you're trying to get a little boo nanny, boom tang, whatever the hell you call it, okay, there's an approach. You don't walk up and say, hi, what's your name? How old are you? Sounds like casting couch, doesn't it?
They promoted a warrior mentality and glorified violence.
There's nothing else I'm good at.
They're bad, dude.
I love violence. I love fighting. I love shooting, and I fucking love...
Tim Kennedy is probably one of the biggest military frauds that there is. I can't tell you how many people on his ODA have called him out for his book and all the lies in it and everything he made up, and just wild, dude.
Freedom.
ODA is a Green Beret thing. Operational Detachment Alpha. It's like their group that they go out in. Like he's lied about everything. His whole book is a fucking lie from start to finish, and that's what made him famous.
Not long ago that we were drinking out of the skulls of our enemies. Like, you know, like I'm gonna fucking murder this guy, then I'm gonna take his head, then I'm gonna cut his head in half, and then I'm gonna boil his skull, and then I'm gonna drink out of that skull.
He lied so much in his book that a lot of the things that he lied about would actually be war crimes. Like, he should be locked up if they were actually true, but they're not.
They belittled and...
He talks about one moment where the commander throws up, even though he's brand new. This is the first mission he's ever run. He's just attached to this. The only reason he was attached to it was because he was attached to some foreign national group that was also traveling with his ODA. The commander froze up. The guys were pinned down. Everybody was dying, and nobody made a decision. So he runs up and throws a grenade through a window, or maybe even a couple grenades through a window, and there was nothing but women and children in there, and he just fragged the fuck out of them. Like, why would you put that in your book, dude? What possessed you to put... First of all, it didn't happen. Second of all, if it did happen, what are you bragging about?
Internal affairs.
We get kicked in the dick one too many times, when we get in trouble by IA, when we lose our motivation and inspiration. I harped a lot on all the negativity. How many times I got kicked in the dick because they didn't want me to go out there and hit a trap, and they didn't want to hit money, they didn't want to hit me kilo. I hit 15 kilos, I hit 300,000. I'm still getting yelled at.
Somebody with some kind of fucking thing on their shoulders or neck collar or fucking whatever.
They basically got the mentality like, if you're a good cop and you're going home every night and not dying, you're going to get in trouble. You're going to get written up. You're going to have bad shoots, right? Where you shoot somebody you weren't supposed to, but at least you're going home every night.
Hey, we watched
your cocaine and hookers or whatever.
Watch your body cam videos. We don't think you got a voluntary consent. Yeah, here's 7 pieces of case law, fuckhead. Stop trying to bag a 19-year-old dispatcher. Get a fucking life.
They dehumanize civilians.
I don't like treating.
I'm almost I think they're still training cops. I just don't think they can train cops in New Jersey anymore.
Turns, right? You're like, fuck them.
I'll look it up, but
Right? And I had a problem treating, gangbangers and the people that were the pieces of shit of society, right? I had a great mentor that told me, well, Sean, guess what? That's a live tissue lab, bro. Anytime you can come to one of these shitbags, absolutely do the best you can. Absolutely, because what if...
Yeah, they have a training coming up June 10th in 4 days in Winston-Salem. June 17th, they'll be in Concord. Arkansas case law that all cops need to know has been rescheduled. It was for October 23rd. Fundamentals of report writing, June 18th in Louisiana, Texas, South Carolina. Yeah, they still travel around and train. They've just been basically outlawed in New Jersey.
He gets hurt, right? Or she gets hurt, or he gets hurt, then I can perform that flawlessly because now I've had some reps in. Everybody get that? Everybody with me on that?
They made jokes.
Right? Or, well, Sean, guess what? That's a lie. And I had a problem treating, gangbangers and the people that were the pieces of shit of society, right? I had a great mentor that told me, well, Sean, guess what? That's a live tissue lab, bro. Anytime you can come to one of these shitbags, absolutely do the best you can. Absolutely, because what if...
So basically what he's saying right here is, like, he had a problem with providing first aid to someone he had hurt or come up on the scene of or whatever, because he instantly looked at them and thought they're gangbangers, they're drug dealers, they're whatever, right? He didn't want to provide life-saving aid to them until someone told him, like, no, you should always do good on these pieces of shit because that's training for when one of the good guys, one of us, goes down. So, yeah, that's the reason you should be trying to save their lives. Not because they're humans. Not because you and your buddies probably fucking caused this. Right? No. It's only training for when you really need it for the good guys. I'd like to let them all die too, but, we need the training.
If he gets hurt, right? Or she gets hurt, or he gets hurt, then I can perform that flawlessly because now I've had some reps in. Everybody get that? Everybody with me on that?
They made jokes about their genitalia and harassed members of the audience.
All right, so normally in my class, we open up that beer tap and I just start spraying people with information. But today, you guys are just gonna get the tip.
I would be remiss if I didn't remind you or let you know that I have a 3-inch dick.
I'm not the one with the 1-inch dick.
I watched this car come off the highway, and I fucked the shit out of the female driver. She doesn't want to fuck me back, though.
That's not an 18-year-old kid dressed like Jesus coming eastbound out of Trenton. It's a 70.
If you can't see what this is, he's talking about an older black guy that he ran into, but there's a picture of a monkey over here. And it says, questions, simple answers.
Want to fuck me back, though.
That's not an 18-year-old kid dressed like Jesus coming eastbound out of Trenton. It's a 75-year-old black man, a change in drive behavior, that came into a gas station, and I'm like, what the fuck? And you know what? Shame on me, because I look in there and I'm like, oh, got a couple small rubber bands. And all I'm doing is asking, hey, what's up with that?
Something like that.
Got a couple small rubber bands. What's up with that?
That can just flip the attitude of a police officer.
I don't think you should ever be talking about black people and have a monkey on the screen, no matter what that was for. That was wild.
Somebody interacting well with their community to somebody escalating situations unnecessarily, such as happened here. That's why I wasn't surprised when I saw this social media.
Uh-oh, you're past 3 years. It's about time, Atsuko. Why weren't you here 4 years ago?
Post from Officer Rippion.
Yeah, these are the guys. These are the people we don't want being cops, right? Like the roid rage, don't give a fuck, cocaine and hookers, plan evidence, shoot just in case. Like these are the guys that don't need to be cops, and somehow they put together this fucking toxic masculinity seminar or some shit, and they're training other cops.
He had attended a street cop.
If anything, we should be training cops on people's rights and how not to violate them and get your goddamn city sued for millions of dollars, shit like that, right? Not like, oh, it sucks to get written up for shooting somebody that's unarmed, but you want to go home at the end of the day, don't you?
Training seminar in 2020.
They love their skinny jeans.
And there he is with the founder and CEO of Street Cop Training.
So that picture right there was the cop that arrested our CVS guy. That's the cop that arrested our CVS guy, Rippion. And he's with the owner of Street Cop Training. So he went there in 2023. In fact, I think the department paid to send him there as part of his annual training.
He had attended a street cop training seminar in 2023, and there he is with the founder and CEO of Street Cop Training. And why not take your police officers from Florida and send them to learn from this guy in New Jersey?
Shut the fuck up, right? About to get pepper sprayed and fucking tased. Windows broken out, motherfucker.
CBS News discovered the founder of Street Cop, Dennis Benino, was a street cop himself.
What do you want to bet this guy's record was at his local department? Flawless, right? Never been written up. Never had any negative action taken against him. Never been sued. Nope. I think he's, I can't remember, but written up 3 times in 5 years, which is a lot, and a $50,000 settlement against him.
In Woodbridge,
he's about to say, but
public records revealed Benino was disciplined by the department 3 times in 5 years. In 2015, 3 women accused him of using excessive force and racial bias. Woodbridge Township paid $50,000 taxpayer dollars to settle before it went to trial. Benino never.
So even if you're not thinking about like let's say you never have run-ins with cops, right? I'm not doing anything wrong, so I don't get arrested, right? Even if that's your mentality, and you're probably a Trump supporter, but even if that's your mentality, do you want your tax dollars going to pay settlements? Your local taxes that come into your town, do you want them going to pay settlements against people? Or could we just have better fucking cops? Because a lot of people are like, I don't care, back to the blue. They got a dangerous job, and I never run into the cops. I don't do nothing illegal.
Admitted wrongdoing. Woodbridge police say he retired from the department at age 33, weeks after that lawsuit was filed. Then he went on to...
So it seems like departments, what they do is they have certain annual training that's mandated. They have to take either annually or biannually or whatever, every 5 years, I don't know. And then they also have a discretionary fund for training. And they'll send, 4, 5, 10 cops from a department to this training one year. And then they'll pick a different 5 or 10 cops and send them to a different training in a different year. That's how a lot of these seminars make their money.
To create Street Cop.
And while they're there, they can also...
Wait a second, what was that?
Bias. Woodbridge Township paid $50,000 taxpayer dollars to settle before it went to trial. Benino never admitted wrongdoing. Woodbridge police say he retired from the department at age 33, weeks after that lawsuit was filed. Then he went on to create...
I don't want a hero's exit. I want to fucking die like 91 with hookers and cocaine around me.
Street Cop.
And what?
So basically, he retired at the same time the settlement went out without admitting wrongdoing, which is basically forced out the door, right? He was either going to retire or leave on his own, or they're going to fire him. And then he immediately started this.
While they're there, they can also be taught by this guy.
And they're not idiots, right? They're making a lot more fucking money doing the training than they are being cops. But you shouldn't go into to being a police officer for the money.
The South, it's the wild, west, south, wherever. You don't believe me? Run from Georgia State Patrol. Run from me. Somewhere along the chase.
So he said it's the wild, wild west. You don't believe me? Run from the Georgia State Patrol. Run from the Georgia State Police and see if it's not the wild, wild west, basically. Now listen, he says, run from me.
Somewhere along the chase becomes... Neither confirm or deny there's some videos out there with me doing just that.
So he just said, if you run from me, at some point, there's going to be random screaming and then shooting. Then he says, I can neither confirm or deny that there's videos of me doing that. So he's saying, like, he shot a fleeing suspect in the back. Well, the civil rights lawyer went and found that video.
After listening to his story about unconstitutionally shooting at somebody, I was able to go actually find that incident. Obviously, what is the first thing that I went and did when I heard him say that? I searched for the video. Check this out from just a few months ago.
First on the news at 6 o'clock, a Reserve West Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's deputy who shot into the back of a fleeing car is facing charges tonight. Sean Pardaz.
shooting into the back of a fleeing car.
He was fired in February, months after the initial incident took place. He's now facing charges of illegal discharge of a firearm and obstruction of justice.
And again, these are the guys training the, quote, good cops or whatever you want to fucking call them.
Vehicle in park. It was complete insanity for a police department in Florida to send any police officers to go learn from this sort of
Basically, as soon as he pulled them over, they ran, and he just fucking unloaded in the back of the car.
incompetence and intentional misconduct. Just last weekend, I was speaking with a group of law students, prestigious law students from across the country, who were there at the headquarters of the Institute for Justice in Arlington, Virginia, looking into potentially becoming civil rights lawyers.
By the way, guys, make sure you subscribe to this channel. It's a really good channel. It's a civil rights lawyer on YouTube. I can drop his link. Hold on. We watch a lot of his videos, get a lot of updates from him. I don't want to steal all his views. Make sure you guys go over there and view some of his content.
Working at a nonprofit law
He does a really good job.
as the IJ. And part of what I was telling them was how important now things like YouTube has become in civil rights and constitutional advocacy. We can file all the lawsuits we want, win the criminal cases that you want, but it's almost impossible to effect real accountability, real change. The one thing that government is afraid of, especially a government that has been bending the rules, is negative publicity, is the public finding out
this girl's
what they've
gonna
been
finally
doing. A light being shined on their bad conduct. That is their kryptonite. And I was telling them, I think my record for one of my videos resulting in a police officer being fired was like 2 days. While I don't think this one beat that, I think we set a new record for the charges being dismissed. And I don't take credit for that at all. What I'm saying is that is you. That is the public reacting to my video and other videos that were out there, all working towards the same goal. Now, in another case, people would disagree. But enough people agreed on that one that the government...
It was great that enough people put pressure out against this video that it actually made some good change.
listened. But there's more work to be done, and I've been in touch with Paul's family, and they're very thankful for all of the help that Paul has received so far. But there's more to be done. I encourage them to set up a GoFundMe to help in this process, and they did do that. So I'm going to share that GoFundMe link. It will be below. And I'll also point out that in the explanation of what happened and what they want to use the funds for, they explained that Paul was, wrongfully incarcerated for 2.5 days, and that even though the charges have now been dropped, this did result in him no longer being able to work at his job, leaving him with no income to cover rent or transportation.
So they've got to GoFundMe up, which you can find a link under this video. But I think they've already raised like 15 or 13,000 out of the 18,000.
And as a result, he's struggling to find a new place to live. Any donations that you can give will go directly towards helping Paul recover and move forward. Things like legal fees and expenses tied to the legal process, housing support to help him purchase a reliable car to be able to go to and from some hopefully new place of work he finds. So I hope you will join me in donating to hopefully get Paul back on his feet.
It sounds like a guy just trying to get started out. Maybe he's had a tough time or whatever. I mean, obviously he's working CVS. He's not exactly raking in the dough, but it didn't help that the cops are fucking him over too. You know what I mean? Costing him his job for being outside waiting on a fucking Lyft to show up or an Uber to show up.
And also, we're not done, because where is Officer Rippion going to go now? Is he going to pop up somewhere else? Is he going to lose his certification?
He'll go somewhere else.
And I need your continued help. So please make sure that
He'll go somewhere else.
All right.
He'll end up fucking doing this to somebody else, and we'll have another goddamn video.
Don't end where your fear.
And I think for every video we get, there's probably 10, 20, 30 other times they've done the exact same thing to somebody else, right? Because not every video is going to make it back. Not everybody's going to report it. Not every time is going to be recorded. Not every time is somebody going to request it. And then somebody find it, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Begins. Freedom is scary. Deal with it.
And he plays the banjo. A man after my own heart. Anyways. All right, you know how I was telling you guys about the scary cameras in my town, the flock cameras, how they're building a model, an AI model about you, your driving habits, where you go, how many occupants are in your vehicle, what you're doing, what times you do it, a model of your car, make, model, color, feature, shit like that. That's not the end of flock cameras. That company's called Flock Cameras, right? I just got another from the same company. From the same company. They are now introducing the Flock drone. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you there's multiple companies, but the very first one is the one that is the same company as the cameras in my town. A Flock drone an autonomous drone that when you call 911, it automatically takes off and goes to your fucking house. Why not? See if I can get the video to play. This honestly isn't horrible, depending on what data is collected. This honestly isn't horrible. Let's say that someone calls and the shots fired at the neighbor's house or whatever. We have a drone on site, right? It's kind of like having a UAV, right? Like you've been in the military, and if officers can access it. But what other data are they storing? What are they doing? Are they doing facial recognition now? Does this build off the model of your car and it identifies your car while it's there? What the fuck does it do, right? That's the biggest issue I've got with it so far, but we'll see.
Drones are fast becoming the must-have tool in policing. Now the next generation is here. Tonight, the I-Team with...
And you might be wondering, why is there such this... it's almost like a modern-day gold rush towards drones. But drones have been around for a long time, right? Drones have been around for a long fucking time, and police officers have used drones for a long time. It's American companies, right? DJI has kind of been... DJI is the biggest drone maker, right? Or I guess the biggest straight to public, but they do police, they do farming, they do everything, drone maker. And other Chinese companies have been kind of pushed out because it's Chinese, right? And they're worried about so now the drone gold rush is American-made drones with a American support, American storage, American data centers, American everything. And they are trying to corner the market right now.
Drones that answer 911 calls on their own, and one of the first looks at an experimental...
Imagine calling 911 and really needing a person, and this is the first thing I thought is a drone shows up with like a screen, and it's like, how can I help you? Like, can I be of assistance?
Drone system designed to foil would-be mass shooters.
It's not operated by someone traditionally holding a joystick. It's able to deploy itself.
The drone made by Flock Safety...
It's all AI. It plans its own route, deploys itself when 911's called, does everything. Nobody's working the drone.
Uses AI technology that's tied into the command center and deploys on its own from a roof to specific 911 calls.
Getting eyes on the ground prior to officers' arrival, that's going to be huge.
The drone is looking for a threat who's carrying...
Now, this is a different company, okay? Now, this drone uses AI to identify a public shooter, right? Wherever, school or whatever, a shooter with a long gun, it seems specifically. It can identify the gun. Putting a gun on a drone is illegal as fuck, okay? But this one can identify a drone or identify a gun, and it flies into the gun and sprays some type of super gummy liquid, like sticky gummy liquid, into the action of the gun to jam it up.
A weapon.
Members of Breakcourt Solutions demonstrating their close-quarter drone for the I-Team. Equipping drones with firearms is illegal in the United States, so the concept with this system is designed to track the threat and then neutralize the weapon instead of the shooter. The drone can also lock in on...
See how it's got rifle identified there? That's AI, right? It is going through its database of what it thinks gun looks like and saying, okay, that's a gun. I've seen all these training photos. That's a gun. I know where the chamber is on this gun, and let me see if I can do this.
A weapon and then strike the side of it, dispensing an adhesive...
See how it jammed? As soon as he fired that, something shot out, and it jammed. It's just sticky.
Substance that essentially
drone jizz. That's right.
Firearms inner working.
Snake piss.
The internal function
Corona.
of the firearm no longer work. It disrupts the bulk carrier group of AR-style rifles, semi-automatic pistols, pump action, and semi-automatic shotguns, and those are 95.
I looked for training videos of this. I've only ever seen it do it to long guns, no pistols. But this guy says it can do semi-automatic pistols.
% of the weapons utilized in active shooter situations.
Drones are fast becoming the must-have tool in policing. Now the next generation is here. Tonight, the I-Team with drones.
Or it's got really good AI, right, Ice King? Raise anything that looks sort of like a gun, and the model's not trained very well, you're fucked.
Answer 911 calls on their own.
You got drone jizz.
And one of the first looks at an experimental drone.
It's pretty crazy, right? I'm not so much complaining about these as I am of the flock cameras that are in my town and probably in your town as well. But it is weird that it goes on its own to a 911 call. And I guess maybe once it deploys, what I would hope it is to do is, like, let's say active shooter, gunshots fired, or something like that. Something that's obviously outside because it can't do much at a house. It deploys itself, and then the officers that radio in that they're responding, maybe they get some type of feed on their laptop in their car that says, hey, we got this, we got that, we got whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully. We'll see what the fuck it does. It seems like we're putting a lot of trust into automated AI systems. Sounds a lot like Minority Report. But that's just me.
Wow, not since January 6th have I watched Fox News show how clearly ill-equipped they are to actually deliver the news.
So Fox News admits themselves that they're not news, right? Even when they were being sued, they're like, anybody that watches us for like a straight news show is retarded, right? We are entertainment. The problem with being entertainment, no other news agency out there had trouble covering the Musk-Trump debate, right? Musk said this, Trump said this, we looked back, this is true, that's not true, whatever. There's no proof here, there is proof there. Fox News wants so bad to be entertainment and wants their oligarchy daddies to like them because they don't know who's going to come out of this on top. They don't even know how to fucking cover this. They're like, oh, well, I don't know. J.D. Vance called him Hitler one time, so that was a thing, and this isn't that bad. Like, it's just so weird.
Because look, there's been a lot of amazing ways that the Trump-Elon fight is revealing how actively disingenuous the right has been for the American people. Elon admitting he bought Trump the election. Trump admitting he's always known better ways to save money. Elon admitting that being on the Epstein list isn't a deal breaker for him or his son until that information can help politically. Or this moment where Trump actively admits that he's aware a lot of his coworkers have this weird habit of hating his guts.
And some of them
weird.
Become hostile. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome, I guess they call it.
But by far my favorite moment is watching Fox News right now fumble and stutter without a strong, easy to communicate narrative. Because just like on January 6th, when an event takes place that can't be spun in real time, they all freeze like it's their first day, lacking any journalistic instincts whatsoever. Because they know that everything that
they know they can't report it straight because they got to have the right spin on it, and no one briefed them. Like, if Elon loses his fucking mind and says Trump fucks kids, this is what you say. No one briefed them, so they're just like, this is weird. I wonder if this is real or not. I don't know. Wonder what's happening.
They say has to toe a very specific line that is actively blowing up in their face right now. Compare it to the way every other news channel has been easily explaining what's happening and its massive impact. But Fox News, a channel that, remember, was ever so comfortable blasting M&Ms and men who go grocery shopping with their wives, suddenly doesn't have a lot of substance.
And if you go grocery shopping with your wives, that's kind of gay, okay? Not very straight white male of you to go into a grocery store. Jesse Waters told everybody it's gay to go grocery shopping with your wife.
Massive impact. But Fox News, a channel that, remember, was ever so comfortable blasting M&Ms and men who go grocery shopping with their wives, suddenly doesn't have a lot of substantive contribution when the most powerful man in the world fights the richest man in the world using political legislation as ammunition. And just like on January 6th, the spin will come. 6 weeks from now, Jesse Waters will schmooze his audience into thinking Truth Social and Twitter were hacked by Antifa. But please watch them right now. None of them know how to deliver the news because none of them think it's a news channel. It's a long-form job interview. And right now, they don't know who their boss will be. And
that's
right. Taken away from all this? Spending $277 million on an election and getting this little in return? I don't know. Kind of makes $90 for Mario Kart not seem so bad.
I like Dave Colombo. He's pretty good. Let's see what else he's... Actually, let me listen to this video first. This is our boy from Edison Motors. It says something about Tesla.
Motors finally came out and said, we have to... Okay, it happened. Tesla Motors finally came out and said, we have to stop using our own slogan. Because we named our company Edison, we obviously had to make the slogan, stealing Tesla's idea. Because if you're naming your company after this guy, you have to acknowledge the fact that Thomas Edison...
That's kind of funny.
Took a lot of the credit where Nikola Tesla was largely overlooked and did a lot of the work. Stealing Tesla's idea is so funny if you get the history on this. Edison Motors even got the trademark for stealing Tesla's idea. But we now found out that Tesla Motors is now opposing Edison stealing Tesla's idea. This is so funny if you appreciate the historical irony that a company called Tesla is now saying that a company called
That is
Edison
pretty funny.
can't acknowledge that Edison stole some ideas from Tesla. Like, come on, that is so ironically hilarious at this point. Anyways, our lawyer said we could fight it, but it'd be like $10,000, $15,000. We don't have that kind of money, so we're just going to drop it. I'm not going to go to war with Tesla Motors over this. I just found it funny. It was a good joke while it lasted. Okay.
It is pretty funny. It is pretty funny they made that their slogan, but all right, let's see what else Dave Colombo's been doing.
Hey, so you took down my last video for misinformation? Yeah, I was calling out the absurdity of conservative conspiracy theories, and yeah, while I apologize for not making the sarcasm in my voice pungent enough for Guideline Filterbot 52-113 to know it was satire, I just want to say it's probably not great that our system allows for society to breed and inflame ignorant and dangerous beliefs that I have to hear shouted at me on a constant basis, but criticism of those beliefs gets censored immediately. No, I believe
it's just machine noises.
Express ourselves freely, but ideally we would then collectively come together and acknowledge the worst ideas and shun them for the garbage that they are, which is harder to accomplish with an increasingly fragmented social media ecosystem where everyone's validated for whatever they say and there's no disincentive for lying or spreading misinformation. Well, maybe not fully responsible, but you're definitely a gear in that machine.
Uh-oh.
How is that offensive? It's a metaphor. Do you even have gears? Fine, I apologize.
Offensive.
Please reinstate the video, or at least have it be looked at by a more sophisticated filter bot or whatever. One with more gears. You're welcome. Yeah, I'm ready for Skynet to take us all out.
I didn't get to see the video he had taken down.
Donald Trump is 135 days into his second term. He's got the House and the Senate, and short of being scared of someone richer than him who might possibly torpedo his landmark legislation depending on the quality of ketamine he just took, he has a loyal hand-picked staff of subordinates and a conservative Supreme Court. So my question is, where is that covert evil cabal of secretly well-organized Democrats that's definitely totally a real thing? Remember? You believe they stole the 2020 election. Never mind that you had no evidence and lost case after case after case, and the fact that 4 years later, when they were in charge, forgot to do it again. I just think if QAnon was right and Soros and the Clintons were building a massive landing pad for our lizard alien overlords, we would have seen it by now. After all, they were a massively powerful and an infinitely wealthy deep state that, and this is probably just coincidence, validated every feeling of powerlessness and anxiety that you felt against an increasingly progressive world around you. Also, I got the COVID vaccine. My head should have exploded years ago. It's just not a good look that all these intense beliefs that you had were fed to you by people who have kind of just moved on. It's almost as if you were...
They've given up on them, right? They've moved on, a lot of them. Remember we were all going to be dead by Christmas?
Manipulated to believe an ever-changing cast of boogie people is waiting for you to fall asleep so they can shit on your lawn. Keep that in mind when this month you receive your updated talking points and realize that the danger of drag queens looks suspiciously similar to the danger of critical race theory, and before that, migrant caravans, and before that, Sharia law, and before that, not supporting the Iraq war, and before that, welfare queens, and before that, the satanic panic, and before that, the Red Scare. But don't worry, the sun will come out tomorrow, as long as someone does something about the Jewish space lasers controlling the weather. So, Donald Trump is 130...
That must be the one they took down. I guess they put it back up.
So, Elon Musk's drug use. No big deal. But Hunter Biden's drug use. Scandalous. Yeah, what if someone gave him an important government job? Hey, we don't know Elon was on drugs. Well, he did keep staring up. Maybe to check on his rockets. Look, Hunter's drug use is immoral because he admitted it. It's out in the open. Right, but Trump getting a free plane, not immoral because he admits it. It's out in the open. Of course. Look, whatever Elon is on, he gets people to do the things he tells them to do. Like his son to punch him in the face. Everybody has problems. It's no reason to be dismissive outright. Like USAID. No, sometimes government needs a chainsaw. Right, but an auto pen is dangerous, of course. And the taco thing? Juvenile, taking a complex issue and simplifying it for morons. But the big beautiful bill sounds pretty good from the name. We are pumped. Raise the roof. I think you mean the debt ceiling. You are always so dismissive. Isn't there anything that you think conservatives are right about?
Well, we all are going to die.
So, Elon.
It didn't used to be 5 years. I understand they're saying 5 years now, but now there were people saying that it gave you AIDS and you'd be dead by Christmas when it first came out.
Well, we all are going to die.
So I have a question that all of you who have commented I look like John C. McGinley will appreciate.
What would you say you do here?
Studies show that our elected representatives keep getting richer while wealth inequality grows, and public opinion has little to no bearing on congressional legislation. Two facts that really question the title representative in the first place. So if you're not going to communicate effectively for the people or clearly to the people, then what exactly is the job? Comedy? Well, let me say, as someone who gets snarky for a living, you're not too good at that either. See, that's what irritates me, not the foreboding substance of the comment or the even more foreboding impact of the bill itself. It's all that, plus she gets to be sarcastic. It's a complete defiance of responsibility for anything tangentially related to her job title. You want to make money, ignore and disenfranchise your constituents, and refuse the
all at the same time.
Respectfully hear them when they disagree with you. It's nauseating. I used to work at a comic book store, and one day the manager...
I hate how their comeback to this is, oh, it's liberal agitators. It's people. It's your constituents, right? Nobody's busting in people for a fucking random town hall. I could understand if it was like one of the big names and there was like a counter protest going on, but fuck, like these people that you hardly ever see or know about or hear about unless they do something stupid like this. No counter protest is going on, okay?
Manager said, sorry everybody, new rule. We don't like the look of employees sitting behind the counter reading comics. You can either sit and not read or stand and read. And my coworker leaned over to me and was like, this is bullshit. Because he thought he was entitled that the easiest job any of us have ever had should be even easier. And that's Congress, demanding to get paid to sit and read comics. Because for them, there never seems to be a manager to come in and give them a disincentive. But let me just say to all the members of Congress, if I can stand and read all of the Watchmen, you can do your job.
Well, we all are going to die.
So I have a question that all of you who have...
One day we're all going to die. That's right.
What would you say?
What do you guys think happened to oil rigs this week?
If the current...
We're going to cover that in just a second. Oil rig counts. Here's a good one for you.
Confused. If the current administration is against DEI hires, why do they select a grocery store assistant to lead a terror prevention office? I wish I was kidding you. I am not. This is 22-year-old Thomas Fugate. He graduated the university only 12 months ago, and yet he was selected by the Trump administration to lead a U.S. terror prevention office. And you may say, well, he just graduated college, but for sure he has more experience. I got news for you. His eyebrow arches way higher than his experience. Unless by experience to manage national counterterrorism activities, you include what he has in his resume, which is working in cross-functional teams at H-E-B supermarkets in Austin, Texas. And for full transparency, that's not all the experience that Fugate has, because his experience also includes this. He was a landscape business owner, and if you're wondering what that is, he...
Part-time. Self-employed part-time.
Explains that he says that he performed lawn care work for his neighborhood for a price that was dependent upon the square footage of what he had to mow. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're now at a stage in our country's history where the government is telling you that they're weeding out DEI, and the only thing that they're weeding out is real weeds through people like
this guy, who's never really had a real job, is leading terrorism prevention in the U.S. 1 year out of college with no apparent national security experience, Thomas Fugate is a Department of Homeland Security official tasked with overseeing the government's main hub for combating violent extremism. When Thomas Fugate graduated from college last year with a degree in politics, he celebrated in a social media post about that exciting opportunities that lay beyond campus life in Texas. Onward and upward, he wrote, with an emoji of a rocket shooting into space. His career blast-off came quickly. A year after graduation, the 22-year-old with no apparent national security expertise is now the Department of Homeland Security official overseeing the government's main hub for terrorism prevention, including an $18 million grant program intended to help communities combat violent extremism. The White House appointed Fugate, a former Trump campaign worker, who interned at the Hard Right Heritage Foundation. That's what got him in, not the campaigning, the Heritage Foundation, to a Homeland Security role that was expanded to include the Center for Prevention Programs and Partnerships, known as CP3. The office has led nationwide efforts to prevent hate-fueled attacks, school shootings, and other forms of targeted violence. Fugate's appointment is the latest shock for an office that has been decimated since President Donald Trump returned to the White House and began remaking national security to give it a laser focus on immigration. News of the appointment has trickled out in recent weeks, raising alarm among counterterrorism researchers and nonprofit groups funded by CP3. Several said they turned to LinkedIn for intel on Fugate, an unknown in their field, and were stunned to see a photo of a college kid with a flag pin on his lapel posing with a sharply arched eyebrow. No threat prevention experience is listed in his employment history. Typically, people familiar with CP3 say a candidate that green wouldn't have gotten an interview for a junior position, much less be hired to run the operations. According to LinkedIn, and the bulk of Fugate's leadership experience comes from having served as Secretary General of a model United Nations club. He was a secretary in a club. Maybe he's a wunderkind. Maybe he's Doogie Howser and he's everything at 21 years old. Or whatever he is to lead that office. But that's not likely the case, said one counterterrorism researcher who has worked with CP3 officials for years. It sounds like putting the intern in charge. In the past 7 weeks, at least 5 high-profile targeted attacks have unfolded across the U.S., including a car bombing in California and the gunning down of 2 Israeli embassy aides in Washington. Not to mention the guy who set a bunch of people on fire. Everybody's saying, oh, he come in through Biden's open borders, which he didn't, right? He overstayed a visa and applied for asylum, but whatever. No one's talking about this kid was at the helm. Against this backdrop, current and former national security officials say the Trump administration decision to shift counterterrorism resources to immigration and leave the violence prevention portfolio to inexperienced appointees is reckless. We're entering very dangerous territory, one longtime U.S. counterterrorism official said. The fate of CP3 is one example of the fallout from deep cuts that have eliminated public health and violence prevention initiatives across federal agencies. The once bustling office of around 80 employees now has fewer than 20, former staffers say. Grant work stops, then restarts. One senior civil service servant was reassigned to the Federal Emergency to FEMA via an email that arrived late on Saturday. The office's mission has changed overnight, with a pivot away from focusing on domestic extremism, especially far-right movements. That was their target before because that's what we have in the U.S. The terrorism category that framed the agency's work for years was abruptly expanded to include drug cartels. Part of the DHS staffers call an overreaching message that border security is the only mission that matters. Meanwhile, the Trump administration has largely left terrorism prevention to the states. ProPublica sent DHS a detailed list of questions about Fugate's position, his lack of national security experience, and the future of the department's prevention work. A senior agency official replied with a statement saying only that Fugate's CP3 duties were added to his role as an aide in an immigration and border security office. So they're saying that he's actually an aide in an immigration and border security office and also manages a CP3 office as a side job. Due to his successes, he has been temporarily given additional leadership responsibilities in the CP3 Programs and Partnerships Office. The official wrote in an email, "This is a credit to his work ethic and success on the job." ProPublica sought an interview with Fugate through DHS, and he doesn't have time to do an interview, and the White House, but there was no response. The Trump administration rejects claims of a retreat from terrorism prevention, noting partnerships with law enforcement agencies and swift investigations of recent attacks. The notion that a single office is responsible for preventing terrorism is not only incorrect, it's ignorant. Spokesperson Abigail Jackson wrote in the email, "Through intermediaries, ProPublica sought to speak with CP3 employees but received no reply. Talking is risky. Tales abound of Homeland Security personnel undergoing lie detector tests in leak investigations, as Kristi Noem pledged in March." She's given her staff lie detector tests. Accounts of Fugate's arrival and dismantling of CP3 come from current and former Homeland Security personnel, grant recipients, and terrorism prevention advocates who work closely with the office and have at times been confidants for distraught staffers. All spoke on conditions of anonymity for fear of reprisal from the Trump administration. In these circles, two main theories have emerged to explain Fugate's unusual ascent. One is the Trump administration awarded a Gen Z campaign worker with a resume-boosting title that comes with little real power because the office is in shambles. The other is that the White House has thought Fugate to oversee a pivot away from traditional counterterrorism lanes and to steer resources towards MAGA-friendly sheriffs and border security projects before eventually shuttering operations. In this scenario, Fugate was described as a minder and a babysitter. DHS did not address a public question about this characterization. That's crazy, right? Crazy. I also saw this video. Okay, Reddit somehow found out that there was going to be an ICE raid in Minneapolis and leaked it ahead of time. And goddamn, were the protesters out there.
I'm here. You could have stopped that.
How did you know this was happening?
Reddit.
I think they kind of want something to happen. I think they kind of want a little half-assed civil war to kick off, and so they can come in and fucking shut it down and chill everybody else from standing up. They filled the road full of trash cans, of cones, anything they could pick up. Look at them getting pepper sprayed right there. That's bear spray, mace. Still putting trash cans out there. Fuck them. Fill the road for whatever you can. Oh, wait. I didn't even show you this. Does it make you trust him more when you see him in this picture? That looks more like a counterterrorism expert to me. No? Sorry, I didn't show him in his official capacity. So Reddit leaked this somehow, knew this ahead of time. This will have Christy Nome freaking out.
Reddit leaked an ICE raid, and this is what happened.
I don't know if there's any more content around. I just only saw the first part. It doesn't seem that way. Pepper sprayed right in the fucking face.
You know, spray paint would really be an inconvenience to someone driving. It would just go right on the window, windshield wipers.
I'm not telling you what to do, okay? But a really, really good tactic that I saw someone employ one time is to buy oil-based paint. The thicker, the better. Oil-based paint and a funnel and play sand. Okay? Oil-based paint, a funnel, and play sand. Then you take the oil-based paint and the funnel and you put it into a water balloon, a balloon of any time, and add the sand to it. Then you can deploy that anywhere, okay? It gets in, it gums up, it's hard to come off because it's oil-based. You need some type of fucking something to cut through it. And if it gets into any workings of guns, machinery, any type of machinery like that, the sand wreaks fucking havoc. Just saying. Yeah, I don't think there's much more content around this. Other than that, let's see. Rig count. We up, we down. Oh, we're down again. Lost another 6. We're lower now than when Trump took office. Drill, baby, drill. What is going on? So all I can say is drill, baby, drill, I guess.
So 5 months into drill, baby, drill, and yes, we have now lost.
It's hard to fill a water balloon with oil-based paint because there's no pressure. It's not like hooking it on a water faucet or whatever, a hose bib and filling it up. So if you blow air into it first and pinch it underneath the funnel and then exchange the two, it makes it a lot easier, but that's up to you. Or I guess you could load it into anything you could get pressure, like a big syringe, anything you could put pressure out with.
Rigs. Yes, more rigs. In the new rig count data that was released last night, we lost 9 more rigs drilling for oil in the United States. That marks 6 weeks in a row we've lost drilling rigs drilling for oil in the United States, and 50 rigs since a year ago. In addition to that, the latest EIA.
No one's going to be drilling in Alaska for oil. If you're talking about Anwar, Trump opened Anwar the last time he was in office, and they had 2 different sales. Okay, the first sale had 2 buyers for leases, and they paid less than $20 an acre for it. And the second sale, because that's unprecedented, right? $20 an acre for an oil lease. The second sale, no one even showed up and made a bid. It's just not, the oil would have to be so fucking high for it to be profitable to go to Anwar. It's not even feasible anytime in the near future.
Data shows that we are 223 barrels per day of oil production down from the all-time high.
223,000 per day down, which is weird because OPEC Plus is getting ready to bring on $400,000 or 400,000 barrels per day.
High of.
It's almost like the market's adjusting for that, huh?
December 6th, 2024. Yeah. Frac spreads did gain a little bit this week, but they are still down 21 from March. This is a trend that is going to continue as oil operators in the United States continue to cut their capex.
Oh, I forgot. Mariah wanted me to talk about Phil. We got carried away, didn't we?
Even though oil prices are somewhat recovering, just as I told you, even if oil prices recover.
Let me see how long his video is.
They don't trust Donald Trump. They don't trust OPEC, and Trump and OPEC are in bed together. They're not drilling. What does the outlook look like? More rigs lost, more jobs lost, lower production in the United States. If that's not drill, baby, drill, I don't know what is. Makes sense if you don't think about it. Thanks.
It's drill, baby, drill for Russia. That's what's going on. Drill, baby, drill for Russia. Let's check out some Phil. His stream's only an hour long. Mariah said it's getting pretty wild. Like, he's telling people there's no reason for him to stream anymore and that he's done. He's retiring. I know he takes this whole month off and doesn't do shit, right? Because he's got like a birthday and an anniversary or some shit. So we'll see what he's got going on. This Phil Godlewski, everybody. Welcome, Phil. Thank you for joining us. How big a dick will you suck? Oh, about like that? Thanks for answering our questions. No audio. Hold on. I want to show you something. Play it. You're okay, Phil. Can any computer geniuses out there, would you guys be able to tell me why Phil might not have any audio on Rumble Studio? Just from looking at this screen. Any whiz kids out there like Barron Trump and can turn on a laptop and tell me why there might not be any audio on Phil's stream? It's hard to tell, I know, but if you think about it intuitively, it seems like if you've muted yourself, that's why you don't have any audio. I wonder what he's going to say. Rumble keeps messing me up. I'm about done with Rumble Studio, guys. They keep doing this to me. Fucking retard. I know you can't see it right now because of chat, but up in the top-hand corner, his microphone's off. Finally unmuted. Thank God.
I don't know if this is going to work very well.
I'm going to speed him up.
I've always avoided doing live streams from my cell phone. This is actually the very first time I've ever done a live stream from my cell phone. A couple things to note. First of all, I can't read any comments. Really sucks. Unless I click this thing down here. Oh, I could. All right.
Now, his original, this is what Phil Godlewski said. Now, I don't know if there's any tech geniuses, hackers out there as good as Phil, but Phil Godlewski said, even though we see live streamers walking around and streaming to literally millions of people from their cell phone, like when fucking Joe Rogan goes live from his cell phone one day, like walking around or something, millions of people are watching him. Phil says he has too many viewers to go live from his phone because there's not enough bandwidth. He has convinced his followers that everybody that watches his video comes straight to his phone individually and watches the video there, and a phone can't handle how many viewers he has. It's got to be a high-end computer.
Well, but I can't do it. If I have to read comments, I'll just have to click. I'm talking to myself out loud. No idea why. I'm in live for a while, so bear with me. This is a cell phone live.
A long while. Let's see, actually. June 5th. It's been like a month, right? Almost. May 8th. It was a month before that, April 9th. It was a month before that, March 4th. He's going live like once a month now.
Stream from Rumble Studios.
But he's made his millions, right? He's basically taken all the money that his audience is going to give him. He's grifted from every grandma. He stole everybody's fucking 401k. He's made his money. Multiple homes, super cars, fucking Rolls Royce, vacation homes in Italy, multiple vacation home in Hawaii. Like, he's done it.
New app that they have. I was never able to do this before, but they've told me that they've optimized the app in recent weeks and whatever, so I figured I'd give it a try, especially considering.
They optimized it.
I could go live tonight. Carrie and I, it was our anniversary yesterday, our 2-year wedding anniversary, and we went to the Hamptons. We're in the Hamptons right now, and silly me didn't bring his laptop to the Hamptons. So
you're telling me white hat hacker Edward Snowden forgot to bring his laptop? What if you have to do some work for the Trump campaign? Or the Trump White House now?
We're doing okay so far. I can only see the viewers on Rumble. I can't see anything on Locals or DLive or anything that I can normally see. So I hope that the app holds up, because I know one of the biggest problems with this is the amount of viewers that come in.
Guys, I'm going to try to explain this if you don't understand. The viewers go to Rumble. They're getting every bit of every viewer goes to Rumble, and you're sending a video to Rumble. That's what Rumble or YouTube or Twitch does for you. It doesn't matter if I have 1 viewer or 1 million viewers on my phone, on my camera, on a potato. All I have to do is be able to send one signal to Rumble. Whether it's one signal from the computer, one signal from the phone, one signal from a potato or a camera or whatever. It has nothing to do with how many people are watching it. Rumble has to be able to host it for 100 people or 5 people or 1 billion people. It has nothing to do with his phone. He keeps lying about this and claiming that he's the tech genius behind QAnon. He's a white hat hacker formerly known as Edward Snowden.
Don't adjust your
And he doesn't understand this shit.
I am tinted red a little bit. The sun was very bright today and also hot, and it made my skin a different color. So Hamptons are beautiful, by the way, especially this time of the year. I mean, it's so chill and laid back here. It's fantastic. So first of all, I don't know how good the quality of the audio is going to be. I hope you can hear me now. In fact, let me see if I could hit a comment. Your one eye and hair look very dark. It's probably just, I mean, like, you know, like, it's just the lighting. There's not much I can do. Yeah, it's Pacers jersey. I grabbed it quick. There's an NBA store in New York City, and me and my boys just went crazy in there. So audio was great. Okay. Good, perfect sound. All right.
Me and my boys went crazy in the NBA store.
So
me and my boys.
It's not going to be a perfect live stream, but like I said, we'll get through it. And it's also not going to be a very long live stream. But I think something today happened that I want to talk about. And I think you guys all know what that is.
He's going to tell him that Elon and Trump's all faking it for some unknown reason for the deep state.
Well, I guess I'll just be honest with you guys. In the last 2 months, what is it, June? Yeah. So in the last 2 months, I've kind of gotten very pissed off with the direction that Trump's White House.
Phil Godlewski got into a weird thing where he's lying about his viewers. So even though now, sometimes he has a lot of viewers, like 30, 40, 50,000 viewers, right? That's insane for a live streamer. But because when he had 5,000 viewers, he was telling people he had almost 1 million, like he has to keep lying now. So like he'll tell people he has like 22 million viewers. When really he has like 50,000, which is insane that he can even get 50,000 people or even 10,000. That's insane, right? Hell, I wish I had 10,000. I wish I had 1,000. But he's went down this road. He's lied for so long that all he can do now is just keep lying.
And Trump's Justice Department and many other aspects of the federal government were heading. I just don't agree. I mean, I don't agree. And let me tell you just one example of what I haven't agreed with, and I'll relate it into the events of today between Trump and Elon. When Trump was elected, one of the first things he did was appoint Matt Gaetz as Attorney General. Everyone was like, why Matt Gaetz? No. And I was like,
he fuck kids.
Matt Gaetz really despises the deep state quite a bit. And he's a good placement for that spot. One of the next appointments, of course, was RFK, but one of the more important appointments was Kash Patel. Now, for those of you that have been watching me for a long time, you've heard me say many times, keep your eye.
By the way, while he's talking about Kash Patel, Kash Patel fumbled majorly today, I think. Kash Patel fumbled majorly today. Or the day that Elon was tweeting, yesterday. They were live. Here, I'll play the video. This is where the title of the show comes from.
Elon and Trump seem to be, this is going to come up because it's been going on since we've been recording here. Elon and Trump seem to be in a bit of a spat. Joe, you want to check the tweet that Elon just put out?
Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day. Jesus Christ.
Now listen. Joe Rogan turns to Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, who's handling the Epstein case and the files, and says, how would Elon know this? Does he have access to files? You know, asking him basically, he's like, is Trump in the Epstein files? Kash Patel should immediately say no if he's not in there. No, absolutely not. He has nothing to do with the Epstein files. Instead, this is what he says.
I'm not participating in any of that conversation.
What is he?
Elon
Have a nice day, DJT. Someone should take his phone away.
Listen,
well, he said he was disappointed in Elon. Jesus Christ, that's a crazy thing to say. How does he know? Does he know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files? Or does he have access to the Epstein files?
I don't know how he would, but I'm just staying out of the Trump-Elon thing. That's way outside my lane.
I'm just staying out of it. Dude, this is huge. MAGA should be pissed. Either at Kash Patel or at Donald Trump. Anything other than hell fucking no makes me think Kash Patel doesn't want to speak about it. I'm just staying out of it. This is huge. All of Trump's cronies are programmed to say, nope, 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 even when it's true. Did you send a signal chat with war plans in Yemen in it? Nope, no war plans ever. I'm just staying out of it. I'm just staying out of it. What?
I know my lane, and that ain't it.
I just don't. I understand he owns Twitter. I think it's bad for your mental health. I think posting things public all day and arguing with people all day is bad for you.
This is going to come up.
It's either one, confirming that, Trump is in there, or two, he doesn't know who his real boss is. And he doesn't want to piss either one of them off. Because if Elon's gone and Trump's your real boss and that's your deal, even if he is in it, say, no, hell no. I haven't seen his name yet anywhere. We know that he was on the flight log 7 times, but that was not to the island, right? Nope. I'm not getting into it.
On Kash Patel. I said he was going to be a very important piece in what happens over the next, I said that way back in 2020. So at that time, I already knew he was going to be significant. But when Trump appointed him as the head of the FBI, one of the first things that was talked about publicly between Kash Patel and Pam Bondi was the Epstein list. Pam Bondi demanded that it be released.
And they gave a fake one?
This was months ago. It was supposed to be released.
Fake binders?
It wasn't. Pam Bondi.
They did a whole fucking show and circus and parade. Gave out these binders that say the Epstein list to DC Drano and those fucking retards. And what was it? Everything that had been released already, including the shit that Joe Biden made public just months before. Nothing new at all.
He communicated with Kash. I remember she made a very demanding public tweet or truth or whatever it was.
Yeah. Outside of his lane. The Epstein files are definitely not outside of your lane, you stupid motherfucker. You're the head of the FBI.
Calling Kash out basically and saying, hey, I was supposed to have these by such and such a date, and I don't know. That was months ago. Months. And this isn't the only thing that I think there's been major failures for in terms of what I've seen from this administration.
I think that's why the Abrego Garcia announcement came today, that Abrego Garcia is coming back to face charges or whatever, which is fine. Give him his due process. I think they're drumming up a case on him. I don't know that they've got the airtight case that they claim they have about smuggling, right? Trafficking and smuggling are two different things, right? Trafficking is someone against their will. Smuggling is someone pays you to move you around. But smuggling, but I do think that the announcement comes out today. The reason it comes out today is because it takes some they don't want to answer anything about the Epstein list. Maybe they don't have it. Maybe they do have it and Trump's all over it. Maybe they don't want to release it because of that. I don't know. But they definitely don't want to talk about it anymore.
In the first 5 months.
I'm hoping he has a ton of lawyers that are ready to go back for him. But as long as he gets his due process, if they present a case, he presents his defense, and he's guilty, that's the way the process works. They act like the Republicans are like, oh, you get what you asked for, now he's coming back to go to jail. All I ever asked for was his due process. If there's a fair trial, he has a defense, we go to court in front of a judge, and a jury convicts him, I can't help him with that. But all I want is the trial. He should have a trial.
There's many other things, and I could talk about them and get you worked up and get myself worked up, and I just really don't like it. I don't, and to be honest with you, I have avoided it, and that's why you haven't seen me in about a month. I was fed up.
I think Trump has said some really fucked up things about younger. I think we would have heard if Trump was like into fucking like little kids, like prepubescent kids, but I wouldn't put it past Trump to have slept with 15, 16, 17-year-olds. Actually, there was a female who came out and said that Trump and Epstein solicited her for sex. That Trump that they were basically passed around. Actually, let me show you something. Do you guys know about Alex Acosta? Alex Acosta is the guy that got Jeffrey Epstein his original plea deal, right? Good friends with Trump now. appointed by Trump. Like Trump's dragging him around and doing shit with. Destiny just did this. Let's see if I can find that video. I think I want to say I watched it on TikTok. Let me see. The Epstein's a deeper rabbit hole. And there's a lot of ties back to Trump. Destiny just did something really funny with this Epstein thing. Hold on. Here it is.
Now, guys. Now is the...
So it says time to drop the really big bomb. It's the Elon tweet. So he's saying now's the time. He likes to troll the way we like to troll.
Now is the time. Now is the time to activate the sleeper cells, okay? If you're active in conservative communities, if you've got accounts in other chats, now is the time to begin to subtly press, to gently push these content creators in a certain direction. When was Jeffrey Epstein? That happened in 2019 in a federal prison. Wasn't Trump the president when he got...
Oh, yeah. Trump was the president then.
Who was it? Who was the guy that got Epstein off? Like, forget the whole... Like, the real crazy stuff was, remember when he got off on those charges initially? Who was the name of the prosecutor? An American attorney and politician.
Trump has never responded to anybody the way he responded to Elon after Elon lashed out at him. Ever. There's Alex Acosta right there. This is the guy that got, the first time Epstein was arrested in Florida, got him his plea deal.
Who served as the 27th United States Secretary.
The girl who accused Epstein and Trump together, basically passing her around. Like, there was even a weird thing where, like, Epstein was mad because Trump fucked her first or something. Something really weird. She just withdrew her case and disappeared forever. Never to be seen again.
Secretary of Labor under Donald Trump.
Trump's Secretary of Labor is the guy who got Epstein his original plea deal. Epstein was arrested and died in prison under Trump administration. Trump's administration won't release the Epstein files, even though that's what they fucking ran on. Wild.
Okay, well, so wait, what does he have to do with anything? Or why is this guy relevant? He was probably just some guy that was really good. Wait, he approved a plea deal that allowed.
This is the first time that Epstein should have been arrested. In 2007, 2008 in Florida, they knew he was fucking kids. They knew about his island, knew about everything. He got a plea deal. A non-prosecution agreement. If he pled guilty to one charge of solicitation.
Jeffrey Epstein to plead guilty to a single state charge of solicitation in exchange for a federal non-prosecution agreement. Hey.
And then Trump made him the leader of the Department of Labor, the head of the Department of Labor.
What? Somebody tell Asmongold, you got to be in his chat, but don't link this, okay? Don't say I did it.
All right, so they go troll Asmongold with this. Watch.
You baited him?
Before the election, so it's not like this just happened right out of the blue.
Shit!
Jeffrey Epstein died on blah, blah, blah. When did Epstein die?
Man.
He's using Grok.
No, it can't be this easy.
Try to ascribe this like grand design to things. Fuck. Let me see if I can find this. Acosta was Trump's handpicked labor secretary, and in 2007, Acosta was the persecutor who let Epstein get away with abusing his victims. That's interesting.
Oh, they got him! They got him, baby!
That's very interesting.
Now, guys. Now.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes. They got him. Anyways, I would absolutely not put it past Trump fucking 15, 16-year-olds. I don't think you're going to find, like, evidence, maybe. I mean, I could be wrong about this, but it just doesn't seem like we would have heard something if he likes to fuck, like, really young kids. But, these guys that are all after power, there's a weird power thing with being a full-grown ass man, wealthy, and fucking like 15-year-olds or 16-year-olds. It's a weird power thing that they fucking like for some reason. And I wouldn't put it past Trump or any other of these fucking disgusting people.
I still am. I'm aggravated.
They might not even be attracted to 16-year-olds, right? That might not even be their thing. That might not be their ideal girl or whatever. It's a weird power thing. It really is. Like they like knowing that they're like young and they can dominate them, and even if they fucking pay for it and shit, it's just weird.
It feels like we're asleep at the wheel to me. I mean, I've had promises made to me about how certain things will go and how they should go and who's going to be held responsible.
If you don't know Phil, he claims to be Trump's inside guy who started QAnon. He was Q. He's also Edward Snowden. He's good friends with Ezra Cohen Watnick because they were roommates at CIA summer camp. Phil quit CIA summer camp because he heard in the lunchroom that 9/11 was going to happen and he didn't like it, so he went to the NSA. Then he became Edward Snowden. Then Ezra Cohen Watnick come back and got him to be Q, and he's on the inside of everything.
And so have you. You've had promises made to you about those same things. By Trump himself. We're going to hold him accountable. We're not going to get away with it. Well, I mean, I understand, and I said this during my last live stream, I understand cutting off the financial needs of the cabal. I get that. You know, go after the gold and silver market and tank the dollar and get rid of the Fed. And
he's predicted all kinds of weird shit. Like he said one time that he went live just to tell everybody that the Supreme Court had overturned the 2020 election and Trump would be back as president by like 4th of July, 1 year when Biden was president, like in, I don't know, like 2 or 3 years ago. It was such weird shit.
And get rid of taxes. And I get it. It's fine. You know, it's fine. Do that first. Fine. But like, there comes a point when you're not doing.
What's even weirder is he doesn't claim that he was Edward Snowden. He claims that the Edward Snowden you know is him. And that Edward Snowden was a code name they gave for all the NSA hackers in like the group he worked in. And that when Phil Godlewski stole all this information and released it to the public or whatever, they invented this Edward Snowden guy as like a fake rabbit trail to go chase down or what. He's an actor, right? That's not a real guy. And what's crazy is he claims he works for the CIA, NSA. He's this elite hacker, works for Trump directly. He has this one video where he's like packing his shit and he's like, Trump called me to I got to go meet him in Florida and work on some stuff for him. I can't go live for 3 days. Like he's got all these crazy connections, but they can't remove the fact that he fucked a goddamn 15-year-old when he was a high school baseball coach off his background. That's weird.
Doing other stuff. Tariffs? Good. We like the tariffs. But the tariffs, great. We like them. The tariff income is going to replace the IRS income. The ERS, the External Revenue Service. So all of the money that we're going to get from tariffs and that we've been getting and that we're going to continue to get throughout the years is going to stop the illegal takings of the IRS taking our money from us. And it'll more than fund the government. But like, I feel like myself and other truthers, other live streamers, other people that you follow, that you put trust in, I feel like we've been given an agenda to push and
we've even got Ezra Cohen Watnick to say he doesn't know who the fuck this guy is.
We've been given marching orders to bestow upon you, our audience.
I covered Phil for several years, and I've busted him. I did a 5-hour interview with this guy and busted every goddamn lie he put out there. He claims that he was Q on 4chan, and he doesn't even know what a trip code is. Like, we busted him on everything.
Me, even having a show, is designed to reach the grassroots citizens of the world, not just the United States, because the mainstream media has been so dishonest. And we can't get the message out to people. That's why people like me were born. But we've given all of the intel that we were allowed to give.
I would like to have him to come on another fucking video, though. Goddamn, we had 9,000 live viewers just on Twitch that night. It's insane.
That we were pushing to be known. And when things like this...
It's how much they're vested in it. You can see it. Like some people will screenshot their chat sometimes and they're like, man, I don't know. I don't feel right about this, but I followed Phil for so long and I can't believe that he wouldn't be telling us the truth now. I need something to happen. I need it to happen. Like crazy shit like that. He got people to roll over their 401ks to a gold-backed IRA, lose 40% when they rolled it over, and still claim that they're making money on their gold-backed IRA. They lost 40% when they rolled it over. The company sends them statements that said they've lost 40 or 50% on their investments. But if they call the company will say, oh, no, we have to send you that legally, but really you're way up. Trust me.
Happen. tend to step back. And then after I step back, I tend to take that 10,000 foot view of the entire situation. And I try to figure out, well, not only what is the problem, but what the hell is going on? And when I don't get the answers that I'm looking for, I understand, like, you guys want to see me go live and talk about stuff and hear good things and whatever, but listen, if I don't have good things to report, what do you want me to do? Come on and like badmouth the administration and badmouth whoever's making these decisions? I'm not going to do it. So I'd rather just not say anything until I see something happen. So for the last, few weeks, several weeks, I've concentrated on my family.
What's crazy is I have a conversation from him. He predicted that Biden would never be inaugurated and then that the inauguration was fake. I have a conversation with him between him and Brad Barton and a guy that Brad Barton used to do shows with that has like a mentally handicapped son. And they're all in a group chat. And Phil claims like, what he says, what are we going to do now? This is crazy. I can't believe I thought this wasn't going to happen. I thought Trump was going to be confirmed after the election investigation. What are we going to do now? What are we going to do? And people are like, I don't know. And Brad's like, I might do this. I don't know. I think he still might come through. And Phil says, have you ever heard about this QAnon guy? And none of them, it feels like, I kind of looked into him. I don't know. I might start covering that. And Brad's like, I'll look into it. I've never heard of it. And they all jumped on that bandwagon, dude, and become gigantic fucking streamers. The guy with the mentally handicapped son stepped away because his son was taking up so much time he couldn't stream. But Brad and Phil became gigantic fucking millionaires on MLMs and gold products and TV streaming services and live streams. They became millionaires, which Brad was already pretty wealthy. Phil was broke. Phil was a part-time real estate agent, part-time Subway sandwich shop worker.
My son's getting really good at baseball. A lot of you guys know that. And he's at baseball games 2-3 times a week. I've been back and forth to Lake Havasu. Carrie and I are finishing up our new home there. We made a couple family trips, around the country, around the world. And I've just kind of taken my focus off of what I feel to be an enormous letdown so far. Now,
Brad is wealthy from MLMs. Him and his wife were both school teachers, and they both got an MLM, signed a bunch of people up, and they were both able to quit their job and put their kids in the fancy private schools. Brad was already wealthy, but he brought that MLM group into his QAnon shit and sold them new MLMs and made even more money.
I said, I know we're only 5.
Brad Barton is so wealthy that he has a building on his property. Before he even started streaming, he has a building on his property where he has a hardwood full basketball court at his house. Like, he was already wealthy, okay?
5 months into Trump's administration, and there's still plenty of time for many more things to happen. I just don't think it's okay to build up this momentous tidal wave.
God, his people, I got to be fucking dying.
And then not even slightly satisfy those expectations. I don't like that. I don't think it's okay. I don't. And,
that's all he's done for years, is build up their expectations, knowing none of it was true. Like, it's one thing to, like, see other conspiracy theories and believe them and spread them because you heard, you added these weird things you saw Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and Donald Trump say, and you've come up with this weird theory, right? It's another thing to lie and say that you were part of it and you're a secret agent and you're the hacker for them. Like, that's a lie, right? Like, there are people that just read Twitter posts and 4chan and all this shit, and they're making shows on what they believe is happening, and they're fooled. They have been fooled by the grifts. And then Trump does stuff like tweet out that Biden's dead and a clone, and it even confirms them, and they're fooled by this grift. You can't claim that when you claim to be part of it. Like, you're meeting with Trump, and you're flying down to Mar-a-Lago, and you worked for the NSA and the CIA, and you're Edward Snowden. Like, that's obviously a lie. Phil, you lied about all of that. You can't claim ignorance here.
I've taken steps back and looked at the entire situation from afar. And even though I've taken those steps back and tried to justify what I see happening, and I can't. Until today. I don't know how to use my influence to the White Hats. I don't even know if I have influence, but if I did have influence, I don't know how to use it. Well, I'm going to pop up this stupid thing up. I don't know how to use it to get things done without harming myself, my future. And I don't mean like physical harm, but I mean like if I were to have lost my source, for example. I don't want to do something that jeopardizes me getting information in the future.
Which he doesn't have. Ezra Cohen Watnick doesn't know who the fuck this guy is. He didn't go to CIA summer camp. They didn't meet there. He didn't hear the secret plans for 9/11. You know, like this is another thing he's made up.
When the information starts to flow regularly and big things start to happen. So I don't want to burn my source or say too many bad things that just get me pushed to the side. So I didn't do that over the last couple months.
Tether created the first stable.
Oh shit!
A digital dollar used by 400.
My ad blocker must not be running.
People without.
Once you haven't heard me speak negatively about the administration or Trump or Kash or Ezra, or I haven't said anything negative at all. I posted rarely on Telegram. I think it's, the majority of my posts over the last couple months have been gold and silver related, and that's an enormous thing to get involved in right now. Silver just hit $36 an ounce, first time since 2010. That's 15 years. Gold just keeps rising, and I'll tell you, while we're on gold and silver, it's at 36, but if it hits 38, there's not going to be any time, I don't think, for anyone else. Anyone that's at a certain level of wealth, when that goes from 38 to 100 overnight, or to 500 overnight, you can't afford it anymore. You could if you have like big accounts like an IRA, and that's what goldquiz.com is for, but just to buy an ounce of silver, you're not going to shell out $500 for that, right? So silver's now out of reach. How about gold? If gold hits 4,000 an ounce, and I said in a prior video, I just said on Sarah's channel, I think I said 3,000 an ounce, but when I made that video, gold was already over 3,000 an ounce. So I meant 4,000, but if you see gold hit 4,000, I think it's just a very short amount of time before it hits 10,000. We are at some major thresholds. And so that's why I focused a lot of my efforts on trying to get people involved in that, because I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. A lot of people knew it was coming, not just me. Robert Kiyosaki, Bix Ware, the list goes on and on. Everybody's been telling you. Trump, for crying out loud, has been telling you to buy gold and silver. Michael Flynn has been telling you to buy gold and silver. It's not a secret. And I think the worst positioned people right now when it comes to gold and silver are the people that are in a 401k, an IRA, or a similar account, a similar wealth management account or retirement account, because it's so easy to just flip that over into metals. And people that haven't done it, it's flabbergasting. So the links are below if you want to get involved in that. But getting back to it, that's why I've focused my efforts on trying to at least do what I could in that regard. But if you notice, my posts on Telegram are minimal. My live streams are minimal. That's my way of thumbing my nose at the White Hats to say, hey, you know what, if you're not.
Yeah, so Phil Silver, his silver thing is an MLM where they basically double, triple, quadruple, sometimes 10x the price of just regular bullion because they claim it's limited quantities, but it's nothing special. You could buy it for, $30-some an ounce right now, but they sell it for $200-$300 an ounce. And you have to sign up for autosaver and buy 5 coins a month, and you pay a fee to buy there or whatever. So he makes a shit ton off that because it's MLM. And he's got thousands of people signed up below him. And then his Goldco thing is a 401k rollover into a gold-backed IRA where he makes a gigantic percentage. And the minimum to roll over is $25,000. It used to be $50,000. And we figured it up. Even if he makes the base percentage they give everybody, he probably makes more because he brings in a lot more people. But if you take 50,000 times 0.06, that is $3,000 per sign up. Right? It's insane. The amount of money he's making rolling all these people over. Now the minimum is 25,000, but still. There's people that have rolled over hundreds of thousands of dollars with him. And if he just makes 6% off that, he probably makes more, but their base is 6%.
You're not going to do anything that I've been telling people you were going to do. If you're not going to follow through on the intel that I've given to my audience on your direction, I'm not going to go live. For what? Why would I? What's the point? What am I going live for?
We know you put that in here all the time. I've never once spoke about your 401k or your IRA. Every time I talk about this, for some reason, you're like, I've got to post about mine. I know everything about yours. I've probably seen it 300 times. That's not what this is. Great for you. I'm glad.
Views? Do you think I give a shit about views? You last money? I have enough money to last my children's grandchildren. It's not. I could quit. And when I get this frustrated about how things have gone and are going, I want to quit. Remember that job I told you about? I could have had. If I had taken that, I would have already quit.
Ooh, he could have been a secret agent again in the administration. Okay. He said that he and his wife are going to have jobs in the next Trump administration, and suddenly he backed out. He didn't want to do it. Too flashy, I think.
With things, just like you're not okay with things. I know how each of you are frustrated, and then when you see something happen, and we'll get to the topic of tonight's live now. When you see something happen like what happened today between Musk and Trump. And it's bad enough Trump doesn't like the bill. I'm sorry, Musk doesn't like the bill. Here's what this revolves around. Trump is introducing a bill, which we all know is a big, beautiful bill, right? Within that bill, there are earmarks to do certain things. A lot of times they call them pork. They fluff up these bills. So it's about this, but there's all these other little things here too. They're also included. And that's what Congress has done for the longest time. That's another thing that annoys me, by the way. Trump came in saying that all these things are going to be different and whatever, and really it's more the same so far. Just, let's push through a big, beautiful bill, but all these little things. Now, one of the little things that is apparently a really big thing is the tax credit that people get for electric vehicles. As you can imagine, that tax credit is very important to people.
Elon Musk is on record for the at least 5 years, maybe longer, saying take away from the tax credit. We don't need it.
Like Elon Musk, rightfully so. He owns an electric car company, the leading electric car company in the world, one of the leading car companies in the world, let alone electric. I mean, this guy's putting people out of business, right? So within this bill,
and I don't think people go to Tesla for the credit, right? It's more of a luxury, higher end vehicles. They're not going there for a $7,000 tax credit. They're just not.
Trump is really been pushing to get passed is the end of tax credits, which means probably the end of buyers for a lot of electric cars. Now, stay with me, okay? Elon Musk, I can't see, I'm sorry. They're annoying me because they keep sliding down my nose, but I can't see, so, especially on this little tiny device. Elon Musk was just in the government efficiency, whatever department. Elon Musk was greatly responsible for getting Donald Trump a whole lot of votes. Indisputable. I don't care what Trump says. I don't care what anybody says. That guy helped enormously with this past election, not so much in getting the votes, but suppressing the voter fraud. That's because Trump wins in a landslide no matter what. There's no way anybody could beat Trump this last election or in 2020. Landslide. One way he loses is fraud, which is what happened in 2020. Well, no, right? Follow me here. Elon has done so much for Trump. It is not within Trump's character as a person, as a human being.
It's not. Precious metals are not a bad investment as long as you know what you're doing. The reason that his MLM is weird is his MLM sells collectibles. But you have to pay a fee to buy these collectibles. You have to get them on autosaver and stuff. If you know about buying collectibles, if you're like into buying collectibles and know what collectible coins are worth, you don't need a buyer's club for them. Right? You know what you're looking for, you know what you want, you know what's valuable, you know what's not, and you go out and buy them. You don't need this service they're providing. And if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, then you shouldn't be buying collectible coins the way they are, especially automatically purchasing them. Like it's a service built for no one, right? And then the Gold Co. gets around. You cannot roll an IRA into collectibles, whether that's collectible shoes or baseball cards or whatever. The government will not allow you to roll an IRA into anything collectible. So the way Gold Co. gets away with that and overvaluing their gold is they say it's collector quality golds. Collector quality gold. They don't say it's collectible gold. They don't say it's, special stampings or whatever. They say that they have their very specific gold produced at small batches in mints and it's collector quality gold. And they'll send you a statement saying you've lost 40% of your investment. But when you call them on the phone, they say, oh, we're legally required to send you that at the melt value because they are, right? It's the same as investing in any bullion. But if you call them, they'll say, but your investment's really worth this much if we took it to a private seller because it's collector quality gold.
To do something that would harm Elon Musk, or not just Musk, anyone that would help Trump on such a level. Trump is what you call a loyalist. Plain and simple. He is the definition of a loyalist. If you do right by Trump, Trump will do right by you. Now, getting rid of the tax credit severely hampers Elon Musk's ability to sell electric vehicles. Do we agree? I mean, you can't not agree with that. He's going to lose buyers for his cars. His sales numbers are going to go down because of this tax credit that's no longer going to exist. What's the only way that Musk's sales won't go down if Trump eliminates the tax credit? What's the only way? I want to see you thinking out there. Now I'm going to click the little comment thing. What would be the only way, just to rephrase, what would be the only way that Elon Musk would not be harmed if Donald Trump eliminates the electric vehicle tax credit? Who's thinking? Let me see. You guys are smart. There it is. Lori McClellan. A lot of you guys said Sarah. A lot of you guys said free energy. All correct. But there's one answer that's more correct, which Lori got. And that is, why do you need a tax credit if there's no IRS? Who gives a shit about the tax credit? Do you think?
Oh, yeah.
No, he doesn't care. He's making it seem like he cares. Do you ever hear kayfabe? Kayfabe, that's the title of tonight's show. So if you look at it, you're like, what the hell is kayfabe? And you went and Google it, you probably found something about professional wrestling, right? I was a huge WWF fan. Now the WWE, but back in the day when I was a kid, it was WWF. Before the Wildlife Foundation came in, they're like, you can't use that logo. So stupid. But nonetheless, I still called it WWF. Back in the day, pro wrestling, everybody expected the WWF and WCW and all that to be real. Like, This is a real body slam. This is a real chop to the chest. This is a real, I'm going to pin him for 3 seconds and win the match. It was always sports entertainment. It was never actual wrestling like you have in the Olympics. Now, these athletes are super athletic. I mean, they get injured constantly from doing what they do. So it's not that it's not a sport, because it certainly is. You have to be extremely athletic to do it. You risk injury every single night. But there is a storyline. Who becomes champion isn't the best wrestler. It's the best storyline.
Okay.
Storylines are incredibly
Kayfabe.
important in professional wrestling, because that's what gets the audience to engage. It's what gets them to buy tickets. It's what gets them to buy pay-per-views, all that stuff. Kayfabe is the term that they associate with protecting the storyline. They don't want you to know that The Rock, I'm sorry, bad example. They don't want you to know that Vince McMahon and Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, were always really good friends back then, because they hated each other. Remember the Attitude Era? McMahon against Austin? It was incredible to watch. Unbelievable. I still wish I could rewatch it. Kayfabe is the illusion that what you're seeing is reality, even though it's scripted. And that is exactly what we're witnessing with Trump and Elon right now. Let me explain it a little bit more. Elon was head of the Department of Government Efficiency, or whatever it was called. Okay, Elon knows, and because of his contributions to Trump, Elon knows. Let me see if this is any. Wow. Oh, I don't know if I like that better. I don't. That seems like I'm glowing. That's a little better, I guess. Elon knows way more than Elon is letting on. Elon knows about the IRS. Elon knows about. I can't do it with this light. I mean, I'm just having a hard time now. I can't turn it off. Because then look. That looks fine. All right. Elon knows every aspect of what's happening next. He knows about the IRS. He knows about the tax credit that we're talking about for the cars. You don't need a tax credit if there's no taxes, right? So if there is no tax credit, it's not actually going to harm his sales at all. It's going to make them. Hold on, it's too dark. Oh, that light doesn't work. That's fine. Oh, so much better. I feel like I'm home. Okay. So Elon knows about this stuff. So when Elon comes out and says whatever he says about Trump, he doesn't care about the damn tax credit. Elon became so close to Trump and did so many good things for Trump that Elon was let in on many parts of what's going to happen next. You remember, Trump was pushing for Elon to get control of Twitter. Everybody wanted that to happen. It's very likely that Elon was part of this the entire time, all the way from the time that he got control of Twitter and got the Twitter files. So this whole charade about, oh, Donald Trump, this tax credit's going to kill me and blah, 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 blah. The tax credit's not going to matter because there's not going to be taxes. So who the hell cares about a credit? Just like Lori said, the same thing. There's no reason to worry about that. That should be the first indicator that Elon's not really acting like smart guy Elon, right? It just seems disingenuous. First of all, Trump is a loyalist, like I said. Go back and look at the history of Donald Trump before presidency, and you tell me that you don't see that he is a man of integrity and loyalty to the people that are loyal to him. If you take away your loyalty to Trump, God bless you. If you betray Trump, God bless you. Elon didn't do that. Elon not only came into government, even though he's head of all these other businesses, and found billions and billions of dollars of waste. He did his job. Trump said he wanted him to stay in interviews. I don't want Elon to go. I hope he stays. He's probably going to go because he's busy with other stuff, but I hope he stays. I want him to stay. It'll be up to him. And then he just, shortly after that, abruptly leaves, leaving everyone to think, why do you leave? Now, keep in mind, the Democrats have no idea any of this is going on. And it's not really so much cabal anymore. It's the Democrats now. Like, we're actually, the cabal is just about gone. And I've said that many times before. And they keep chipping away at what's remaining, but it's just, there's nothing there to be worried about cabal-wise. What you do have now, though, is a political party in the United States, which is still kind of like an annoyance, a hindrance, a problem.
By the way, he's kept them hanging on for years now, all through the Biden administration, that it was just about to happen, just about to come out. You're going to get your money. Everybody's going to get millions of dollars to Nassar-Gassar. The IRS is going away. Med beds are coming, and it'll heal anything. You'll live forever. Everything, right? He's kept them hanging on for years for this.
Like, you remember that?
Gold, silver will be $50,000 an ounce.
The day when I was doing live streams, and that freaking fruit fly kept flying around my damn head. And every once in a while, I would just be talking like this and saying normal things. I would go like that. And you guys are like, are you okay? Like, yeah, it was a fly. Like, you didn't know if you believe me or not. They're kind of annoying like that fly. It only comes around once in a while, but that's the Democrats right now. Hakeem Jeffries out there running his mouth, and, stupid people that stand up there in the State of the Union. Al Green or Shepard or whatever the hell his name was. Who cares? Doesn't even matter. I already forgot about it. So Musk.
That may be the dumbest idea I've ever heard. No one can predict the future.
On the eve of doing all these great things for the United States government, getting endorsed for doing those things by Donald Trump, Musk comes out and starts badmouthing Trump. First of all, before Musk starts doing that, Trump severs ties with Musk and punishes him by putting this tax credit elimination into the bill. So
damn it.
Just punish the guy.
If I knew what the future was, I would just play the lottery and win.
Fraud and getting Trump elected.
It's dumb.
And doing a great job with finding billions and billions of dollars of fraud, basically. Trump now wants to come off at the knees? No. So I'm sitting back and watching this. Terry actually showed me a screenshot of something, that Trump and this was a few days ago. Actually, no, she showed it to me today. A few days ago, I noticed that Trump and Elon were kind of going back and forth a little bit. I'm like, what? Here we go. Like, more of the same for me. Like, this is why I don't want to do anything, because I'm just pissed. Right? So now these two are jabbing at each other. Here we go. Civil war. Why not? Why fight the enemy? Why? Maybe we should just fight each other. I felt like everyone's an idiot. So again, my focus goes to my family. Be a great dad, be a great husband, and just move out of the country. I wish I could. I would have. I know. And then today happened. So we're sitting a few hours ago, I guess, when Elon made that tweet about Trump being on the Epstein list. Sitting on the couch, and Gary's on her phone, shows me, said, look what Elon just said. And I'm looking at it, and it was like a screenshot that someone else posted. I think it was the Hodgkins twins or something from their Twitter account. It was a screenshot of something that...
The Hodgkins twins. The non-Hodgkin's lymphoma twins. I think that was it. The Hodgkin twins.
Elon said on Twitter, on X. I'm like, I don't think that's real, because I've seen like fake posts before from either Elon or Trump or whoever. I've seen fake ones. You have too, right? And you go to their account, they're not there, and then you Google it, and it's like, somebody just made a meme, basically, and they're trying to pass it off on truth. They've done that to me. They've made it look like I've said things that I've never said. You could do anything with the digital technology that's out there now. It's not only Photoshop anymore. There's apps that are like way better than Photoshop. So you could make anybody, you could put somebody's face on a different body. You can make me look like I'm not muscular. I know I am. But if you wanted to make me look like I'm not, you could like, these guns wouldn't even be, you could make it look like I'm skinny. Carrie's yelling at me from the other room. This is our marriage. Anyway, so I thought it was one of those things that was just like a fake thing, And then I got a notification on my phone that from, I don't know, one of the news outlets, Fox News or something, that Trump or Elon says this terrible thing about the Epstein list and Trump and how he's on it, and that's why it hasn't been released yet. So now my mind's going, I'm like, okay, so he did say that. Now he got my attention. And I've been waiting for something to happen, and it happened today when Elon made that comment. Now, let me tell you how little sense it makes if what Elon said is true. The Epstein list has been in the possession of the Biden administration for years. Years. It was in the possession of the corrupt Department of Justice and the corrupt FBI for years. Many years. Trump couldn't get his hands on it in his first term. Why? Because impeachment, 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 Russia, 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 Russia. He was fighting to stay as president. But Biden had it. Biden had it. Biden's head of the FBI had it. Biden's head of the Department of Justice had it for years. By the way, when I say years, I absolutely mean prior to the 2024 election. So if Trump is on the Epstein list and Trump is running for president and Biden and Kamala and the rest of the corruption that was in our government from 2020 to 2024, if Trump's on that list, why wouldn't they release the list before? How obvious is it what they're doing? You don't have to have a truther like myself or like anybody tell you what's going on. You should be able to see it with your own eyes. If he's on the list, they would have released it a long time ago. Definitely before. They probably would have held on to it till before the election, right?
Got it.
So he's not on the list. So then why did Elon say that? Because if you say it and it's not true, that's defamation, right? Right now, Trump, if I were Trump, and this were real, if it were real, of course, and not a kayfabe, I would already be filing against Elon. Elon's a billionaire multiple times over, one of the richest people in the world. I mean, this is a lawsuit of enormous proportions. You can't say that somebody's on the Epstein list.
Oh, this seems interesting. Hold on.
Again, logical play out. If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
Tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
I told you this was a lie before, right? Like I don't think they have all these videos. I don't think they have all these videos of people fucking kids, right? Because there would have been tons of arrests made. But she says the reason we can't release it is because we got to redact all the children. Kash Patel says there are no videos.
And there are hundreds of victims, and no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is diligently going.
Again, logical.
So fucking dumb.
And indicate that they're, something negative involving Epstein, which would be underage.
He believes that Trump was not the president, but the commander-in-chief, while he kind of jumped on the Derek Johnson shit.
Children of a sexual varieties or trafficking or whatever. You can't say that about somebody and get away with it, especially on that level. The only way you could say it is if it's true. And if you don't want to get sued for defamation or libel. So Elon saying it makes no sense whatsoever from a couple different points of view. Number one, if he was on the list, as I said, the Democrats would have, and the cabal would have absolutely used that against Donald Trump before he ran for president. Maybe even during the first run against Hillary. Then I noticed, after I saw Elon post that on X and the whole internet went ablaze, then I noticed what the Democrats were doing. The Democrats, in response to Elon's post, remember, these guys hate Elon, right? They've been bad-mouthing Elon for forever. In response to Elon's post about Trump being on the Epstein list, the Democrats are now calling for the Epstein list to be released.
The Democrats have always called for if there's a client list, release it. The problem is, I think they've released everything that they've, even when Pam Bondi's like, we're releasing more, she just released the same shit that's already been out there that you can go search on the DOJ's website right now.
And then when I saw that, I'm like, it all fell in place. I totally understood everything. Keep in mind, the cabal is not there.
The same thing that you say about Trump, like, oh, if the Democrats had it and Donald Trump was on the list, they would have released it, is the same thing you can say right the fuck now. If there are tons of Democrats on the list, they would have put it out. I don't think they have anything.
You have this stupid group of Democrats led by idiots with idiot followers. Just a bunch of idiots. I don't know what else to say. And they're making the most predictable move. Trump's on the Epstein list? All right, let's release the Epstein list. All based off of one tweet. So now, there's no reason for anyone in the Democratic Party to say, like, let's say, for example, the Epstein list was released a couple months ago as it was supposed to be. The Democrats would be like, oh, well, this is a revenge tactic by the Trump administration because he was prosecuted by Merrick Garland's Department of Justice or whatever. What the hell are they going to say now? They're calling for the release. All Trump has to say is, all right, release it. Go ahead, Kash. Go ahead, Pam. Do your thing. Kayfabe. Trump and Elon are very obviously, it's not even, you don't need me to sit here and tell you that Trump and Elon are playing a game. You don't need anyone to tell you that. You should be able to see that that is exactly what's going on. Why? Because if Trump were on the list, it would have been released a long time ago. If Elon really cared about a tax credit hurting his sales, he absolutely would not go against Donald Trump. How much did they lose today, babe? Tesla stock? Tesla stock's down $54 since Elon started, speaking out against Trump. Why? Because we are a massive majority. MAGA is a massive majority in this country.
Oh,
and a lot of us own Tesla stock. Why? Because we like Elon. And Tesla's going up as Elon was doing what he was doing and rooting out the corruption, right? So when Elon speaks out against Trump, what do?
It's been going down year to day. It's been doing nothing but going down.
But we're like, no, you don't like our guy anymore? F off. Get rid of the stock plummets. So why would Elon, one of the smartest people in the world, and the richest people in the world, publicly speak out against Trump and say these things, which we, MAGA, know is not true, to tank his stock and go against the MAGA movement, which Elon knows, by the way, is very powerful? You don't need a truther to sit here to tell you that this is all kayfabe. I believe what's going to happen next is exactly what I've been saying was going to happen for the last several years. I believe now there is a bipartisan support to release that list. Let's keep in mind, nobody knows who's on the list. Well, we kind of know, right? Because we IQ. But Democrats calling it for it to be released is
what's been happening since we thought there might be a list.
Not really too smart. But again, you have stupid idiots over there. Led by stupid idiots following stupid idiots. They're just dumb. They're like, I don't know say. I mean, they're just really dumb people.
Then you go be a fortune teller. I don't know what the fuck you want from me. Have I ever given you the impression that I would like to be a fortune teller? This is the dumbest goddamn conversation I've ever fucking seen.
So now they're calling for it to be, it's going to be released. And I think what I've been waiting for and what you've been waiting for, and one of the reasons why I've taken a step back, as I explained earlier, what you're going to see after that list is released is massive arrests of really, really high-ranking individuals, not only in government, of course, but big-time CEOs of big-time corporations, actors, sports stars. They thought Jeffrey Epstein was their personal maitre d', and Epstein had the backing of not only the government, the worldwide government, certainly the government of the United States, but they thought he had complete discretion and could not be touched. But they also never thought Hillary was going to lose, and that's the day that things changed. So the arrests that we've been waiting for, I believe, are now right around the corner, whether that's a week, a month, I don't know. But I see clearly now what they're doing. And I don't want to say it's in response to me not doing live streams or whatever. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, probably not, but maybe it is. But now I got my eye on the prize again. Now I feel like this is the event that we needed to happen in order to kick off other events. And when, Julian Assange said it best years ago, something like 80-something% of Congress is corrupt in many ways. Assange had the goods back then. Assange had the list back then. So you saw what they did to him. But now
again, now he's saying Assange had a list back then. If it's full of Democrats, why didn't they release it at any other point in time? Why now?
Publicly. And this, I want you guys to understand what this is. This Epstein list isn't a list of names. It is a list of names, but it's not just a list of names. It's a list of names and activities with proof. Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, or whatever her name is, Ghislaine, Giz, hard, I don't know. They knew they were getting free reign from powerful entities such as the United States government and, all of the people who turned a blind eye. They knew it. But they were smart enough to also know that someday, just like what happened with Diddy, someday it could all just come crashing down on their heads. So they put together a very elaborate insurance policy. So did Anthony Weiner, for that matter. Different topic altogether. But Epstein and Maxwell had everything on everyone for years. Back when WikiLeaks was still a thing. WikiLeaks ended up getting, clued in about what was happening. And
makes sense.
That's where you get the start of the massive arrests. We've seen some arrests so far, Diddy and stuff like that. And yeah, great. Those people should go down for what they did, but we have not even begun. And how do you get there, right? How do you get there without it looking like it's political revenge for the prosecution of Donald Trump by the corrupt judges. How do you get to that point, right? Well, why don't you just have Elon tweet that Trump's on the Epstein list? Pretty simple. And then why don't you just have the idiot Democrats say, oh, yeah, he is. All right, let's release it. We're going to be back in the White House. Actually, you're going to be in jail, you dumb person. Now, I can sit here and talk for 3 hours about other things. Why are certain decisions going a certain way in federal court against Trump? What's going on with SCOTUS? Blah, 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 blah. But why? Why? Because maybe some of those people who are making those decisions, maybe some of those people who are on the Supreme Court, one in particular, maybe a Chief Justice, I don't know, maybe not.
This Father's Day, get up to 70% off the Baldy Pro by Groomy. This head and face shaver boasts a 10,000 RPM motor.
It knows I'm bald.
What do you think happens if a Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court gets publicly arrested for pedophilia? What do you think happens to all of his cases that he oversaw? What happens to the Supreme Court? What do you think happens to a judge who is making rulings against the Constitution for cases that involve Donald Trump? And then it's found out that that particular judge had something to do with the Epstein list, or maybe he was on it, maybe not, whatever. And Trump's trying to get that list released, but that judge is making decisions against Trump that's kind of hampering his administration. What do you think happens to that judge? What do you think happens to the decisions that that judge makes on cases pertaining to such a conflict of interest like that? What do you think happens? So I know you're probably upset about some decisions that came out from the courts. So was I. And then today, I realized that Elon Musk just accused Donald Trump of being on the Epstein list. And for various reasons that I've already explained tonight, that makes no sense whatsoever. It also makes no sense that Elon is pissed off about the tax credit because there's not going to be taxes. So you're not going to get credit. You don't have to pay them anymore. There's your credit. Or you don't pay taxes. You want credit? Go buy a car. Do whatever you want. No taxes. Finally, I feel like I could get re-engaged with what's happening now, because for the last few months, I don't want to be part of this shit show. But I think things are about to turn. And like I said, I think it's pretty obvious. I don't think this isn't like some intel coming from me, right? You saw all these things happen today. I'm just putting a pretty little bow on it and packaging it up in my rhetoric and telling you what I see. And now that I've said it that way, I think it's going to be very hard for you to see it any other way. So the next thing that I would anticipate is going to happen is the Epstein list is going to be released. Like I said, when? I don't know. But right after that is released, you're going to see it. And you know what? Anybody that commits crimes against humanity or children in a sexual or violent nature whatsoever deserves to be killed. I don't know. Like you did with a 15-year-old, and you've lost all your cases around it? Took a plea deal originally, sued the paper for bringing it up, lost that case. Sued Bree for her testimony, the girl that you abused, lost that case. It was weird. Or at least put in jail, or at least prosecuted. You didn't just get away with everything, right? Have your day in court. You didn't do it. Okay, well, here's the evidence we got. Did you do it or not? Here you go. Tell the judge, tell the jury, tell the tribunal, whatever. We've all been waiting for tribunals, right? How many times have we talked about tribunals? That could be right around the corner as well. So I'm going to end the live now, but I'm here to tell you that I like what I saw today for the first time in a long time. I'm going to keep my eye closed on this, and I'll report back as soon as I possibly could. But I think what we should do now is get involved with gold and silver, because the connections I made tonight to the IRS lead directly to gold and silver's value hitting the stratosphere, if I'm right, of course. So I think we should keep our eye on that. But for now, let's just, I kind of went against my own advice for a little while, and my advice to you guys was trust the White House, trust Trump. This is all for a reason. This was all for a purpose, and they're going to make things. They're going to make good. Trust the Trump hats. Okay, when? You make it good when? Because you're not doing it. But now I think. And then Trump wished Ghislaine Maxwell wishes her well. I don't really know her, but I wish her well. In her court case, while she's trafficking kids to be fucked by men on an island. I think I should have followed my own advice, So let's keep spirits up. Number one, have faith in Trump, have faith in White Hats, have faith in God. Send me money. And let's get ready. I think it's going to kick off to the good. If I was going to grift, it would have been when it should have been when they all kicked off. Right, I could be in the same position. I could have just disappeared, faked my own death or something, and be a multimillionaire with 10 different goddamn houses and 40 fucking cars and all this shit that Phil has. Good stuff is coming. It almost seems now like they put a 6-month buffer on the good stuff. Let's take the first 6 months of the first year of Trump's new administration and concentrate on this, and that. Let's get rid of Biden's shit. Let's announce that he has cancer. Let's, put all that stuff behind us. Let's rip back anything Biden did. 6 months. Now I'm struggling to keep the show afloat, but it's what morals get you, I guess. After that, let's go. Let's do this stuff. And that's almost what it seems like now. And I don't know that. I'm just pointing out what I see. But I think it's time to get refocused. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry about the audio. Sorry about the video. Sorry about the cell phone. Sorry about the SM. It was hard to do this. And I'm glad it worked, though, because we have judging by numbers, I would think we have over 20 million watching, but I don't know that because I'm on a shitty little device.
I think we have over 20 million watching, but I wouldn't know because I'm on my cell phone.
But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'm going to do some digging over the next.
Over 20 million? Are you shitting me?
Over 20 million watching, but yeah, some PT things. It was hard to do this, and I'm glad it worked though because we have judging by numbers, I would think we have over 20 million watching, but I don't know that because I'm on a shitty little device. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'm going to do some digging over the next few days and plan for live sometime next week. So check on Telegram, look at the Rumble schedule, and I'll be back, within the next week or so, and we'll talk more. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. See you.
Phil's update. It's all fake to get the Democrats to call for the Epstein list, and it's all going to be released one day, I guess. What a fucking idiot, dude. But his followers eat that shit up, dude. I bet you they're coming up with theories and hidden messages he didn't even fucking say. Like, I bet you they got all kinds of shit already on Telegram. All right, that's it for Phil Godlewski, I guess. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. Hold on just a second. Please consider supporting the show. That's how we pay the bills around here at Cold Bread Off Fund. You can just use the PayPal link at the bottom if you don't want your name to pop up or whatever. And yeah, thank you guys. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good night. Love you. See you. Bye. Mariah asked me to cover Phil because she said it was so crazy, but I'm tired of fucking covering Phil, dude. Seeing him get away with robbing millions of fucking dollars.
On this planet.
It's hard when you're like struggling to pay fucking bills and this guy robbed his audience blind and he's in the Hamptons on vacation. Like, I don't want to fucking see his shit.
Okay, Scott. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well listen bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking.
At least.
Deposit, swinging fucking meat hammers like.
At least 20 billion.
He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I
Everybody say hi to Bart. He'll be by to watch later, see if we talked about him. He said he followed me by accident. And he immediately unfollowed me.
You ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped them to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby.
I need to make more short form content and put it out.
Wait. Stop.
I'm thinking about not even doing politics and social issues. Obviously, it's not doing great. Maybe I'll fucking, I don't know.
Seriously.
Do something else.
Bombs and alcohol. Oh, give me a. Oh my god. Damn it. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Piss them off. It's about to get lit. Get the place in the best. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Round 3. Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it down his throat. Now things are getting rocking, he was doing so well. It's all over, hands on his shoulders, they ringing his bell. You got Frog News Network doing no damn research. They rework and copy on cocks that came first. 9th inning, 2nd string, and they acting like they know hitters. Assholes throwing bullshit, sending bronze to the shitter. All this nonsense on my conscience, it's hard to sleep at night. Who the fuck is in my window with this time of the night? These parasites, these leeches, with all their secret meetings, teaching all you fucking cretins about baby eating heathens. Believing in reason with no meaning is bullshit. Will Bird motherfuckers out here busting the grifts. Here we go, I think I started.
There you go.
It's the off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
Laura Loomer just posted, Donald Trump took a bullet for you. Respect him. I quoted it and said, when you took a money shot from Donald, did you feel respected?
You don't have those guts because you're a
Respect him. Shut the fuck up.
wearing aviator glasses in your mother's basement. And I won't even give out your dime store handle because that's really pathetic.
I might start live streaming my secret mission to save the world with one shot